to fire up the stream and get that ready if you want to set up your end as well.
Mm-hmm.
We love.
Oh, oops, wrong one.
Yep.
Turn this off. Oops. The hell is this?
What the hell is what?
I'm just trying to share my screen, and it's not. It's showing. It's showing Discord rather than the projector source. That's so weird. Makes no sense.
Projector source.
Hold on a second here. The OBS, I'm trying to make it like full screen projector preview.
Yeah.
And then I share it. And I click full screen projector preview. And when I click it, it just shows Discord. It doesn't make sense. Why is it showing Discord on screen?
I don't know.
Can you see it? What can you see?
I also have a look. Yeah, I just see your Discord.
Well, that doesn't make any sense at all because look, I'll close.
Oh, now I see it. Oh,
the OBS projector source, and it just
well, when you
turns it off.
You closed like Discord or something, and then I saw KCM, and then you ended your stream. So I did see the KCM stream or whatever, but only after you closed Discord or minimize it.
No, I had it minimized before. I just closed the source like on OBS. Here, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm looking. I've got it minimized. I'm looking
KCM.
at KCM. You see it?
Now I see Discord.
Do you see Discord still?
Yeah.
I'm looking at OBS.
Yeah, I see Discord. Now I see KCM.
So I can't. Well, I can't be in the full screen mode the whole time. I have to be able to press the play button and put the score on the screen. Shit.
Why is it doing that then?
I have no idea. Here, let me restart. Let me restart Discord here.
Yeah, go for it. One sec, guys. Got a little bit of technical difficulties. The reason why I'm not screen showing it is because his Discord is showing up right now. So I don't want to leak his Discord stuff. Waiting on the saying. Ooh.
Still not working.
I'm still confused as to why it's doing that. Like, So, is there anything different from when you were doing it last? Why would it suddenly start doing that?
No idea. I'm gonna restart OBS. Still doing it. What in the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, it was streaming your like whole desktop, right? Your whole. Is there not a way you can change when you're streaming how you're setting up the stream on Discord, like when you choose specific windows and shit?
Those applications, full screen projector preview. It's the one I'm clicking. Only quality is possible to change.
No, I mean, like when you click on screen share on Discord, what are you setting it to stream? Like, are you using like the app?
I'm clicking full screen projector preview. That's one of the options. There's OBS, Steam, YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I could click OBS. I could click Discord and stream my own Discord on Discord. That's possible to do. Now it's like a, infinite stream. But for some reason, when I click the projector preview, it only shows when I'm on the full screen mode. That's so weird. Let me see.
Yeah, that is strange.
Wow, it's doing it for even this too. What the fuck? Oh, what a pain in the dick, man. Try this. Even that's not gonna work. How the fuck am I supposed to make this happen? What in the hell?
Yeah, it's really bizarre, mate, honestly. Do you want to just try restarting your whole fucking system quick? Just restart your whole laptop.
Sure.
Just in case it's some weird issue.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Alright, man. Damn technical difficulties. It's giving us a delayed start. And might even make it hard to record at all if we can't fix it right now. yo.
Whoa.
What?
Get some weird error message here. I downloaded a bunch of weird shit for Japanese visa recently.
Oh shit.
Just popping up on screen. Some Japanese government programs. Where is it? Let me just remove it.
Might be trying to recruit you into some kind of Gundam secret training program.
You're gonna have to try harder. Yeah, look at this. Look on my screen right now. How's that?
Oh, you just left as you said. How's that?
I don't know what happened. What is this? Why is this on screen?
What the fuck?
It's literally not even. It's not even on my screen. Where did that come from?
What? What, can you not see that?
No.
That's kind of weird, no?
Yeah, that's fucking strange.
Yeah, that's kind of...
I just removed that program from my computer, so
but it's still there.
Literally shouldn't even be there anymore.
Yeah, it's like in the dark, man. In the shadows, lurking. It's like you know, like vampires can't be seen in mirrors. It's like you can only see it in a mirror. You know what I mean? It's like the reverse of a vampire.
I don't know, dude. This is just not working. What the fuck's going on?
Kind of bizarre.
Really bizarre. I think we'll just have to open up the I'll have to open up full screen so that you can see it when we're watching the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll just be like a bit of a quality hit on live, unfortunately, for those people who are watching live.
We'll have to live with it.
Yeah, I'll have to go to freaking OBS whenever I need to do something, which won't be very often, but yeah, at the end of each game and stuff.
It is what it is. We'll make do.
Yeah.
As long as you're not going to accidentally expose anything, be careful.
I don't think so. I'm not. It's not actually showing my screen. Like right now, I'm not even looking at OBS. I'm looking at like a Google Chrome or something like that. You know, you can't see my Google Chrome.
Yeah,
can you?
I'm usually just seeing this Discord call and then KCM and stuff. Like I'm not seeing anything else. So yeah, as long as you don't expose anything on that Discord screen, I think anything would be an issue.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking weird.
What is it showing? Why is it showing that? So strange. Alright. Well, at least we don't have that weird Japanese program message on the middle of the screen anymore. That's good. Market improvement.
The ghost message.
Yeah. Alright. Let's go. Quick voice
Sound
check.
1 2 1 2. Test 1 2 front 2. KCM saying SC.
Yeah, I'll check. Looks good though. Just get rid of a few. Okay, sounds good. Let's go.
Lego.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the KCM. We're ready for week number 3 here. Getting it started with Jaedong versus Snow. Apocalypse is your first map. Let's go. Bringing up your score screen here at the bottom, we've got Light Mind Speed, YSC Snow Mini, Hero, Queen, Jaedong. It's looking like a fantastic week. Everybody bringing out some fresh names. Like, we haven't seen Speed for a really long time, and YSC did really good last week, but I'm glad to see Protoss putting together a better lineup, although they still did very well with the lineup they brought last week.
Yeah, even though they threw a lot against the wall, quite a lot of it managed to stick, it seemed. And yeah, but now we've got Snow and Mini back in, though YSC making another repeat appearance. Happy to see him again. Yeah, nice to see Speed. He's a pretty talented player, just not quite in the higher echelons as these other guys, but certainly capable. Mind as well, happy to see him. And Jaedong as well, getting a little bit of limelight. So hopefully we're going to see a really good week here soon.
Yeah, it should be a fun week. Already had a great time watching and casting the BSL challenge race challenge series, which is very similar to this format. It's hosted by Zero of BSL, and so a lot of casting today, a lot of race championship. It's great to see the foreigners picking up on this format as well. No mirror matchups at all, just such a fun and interesting format, so love to see it getting spread around.
Yeah, and looks like Jaedong's playing like super safe. He's just going to be going for a tried and true overpull here. And Snow probably going to be doing like a 13 forge, like a delayed forge into Nexus here. Nothing too crazy from both players so far. Both playing very safe, very standard.
I've seen that you can get away with Nexus first against this build. He went overpull here. And he's not going to get greedy. Okay, so he throws down the forge. I have seen Protoss players get away with this.
Yeah,
it's just very tight. Like, you might need to pull a few probes. You might need to build a gateway in the wall and that type of thing. But it's definitely possible to make it happen. Here, he's just going to go for the forge first and still going to get himself a good position. Looks like the third base for Jaedong thrown out way on the other side of the map. Look at that third base. He's taking up here at the 12 o'clock now.
Yeah, it seems he just wanted to avoid getting a probe blocked as well, so wanted to maybe get that set up earlier on at a far away distance where this probe wouldn't be able to delay that. And in turn, going to be probably just bullying away this probe now to set up his third hatchery here at the natural. So a little bit of a wonky start, but just to avoid any shenanigans of Snow being really annoying with this probe micro and delaying the timings that Jaedong want to hit here.
Well, you know what? This third base area is a lot easier to clog up with hatcheries. If you want to take this one, yeah, right here. It can be pretty easy to defend, maybe? I don't know. I've just never seen anybody take that as their third. It's usually the base right above your natural here because it's so much closer. It's so much easier to defend, but Jaedong bucking the trend here. Let's see if it ends up paying off or he gets pulled apart by Snow's early Zealot control.
Yeah, you're not wrong though, saying usually it's this like the safe back pocket expansion you take later on in the game, not usually as your third base so early on. So a little bit of a peculiar choice, maybe to obfuscate and disguise exactly what he wants to do here. And it's going to be a 973 build out of Jaedong, and it almost catches that scale probe. Not quite though. Snow really on top of his multitasking here and going to be keeping that alive. If he can sneak past this Lings, it's going to be huge. Being able to identify this early on would be great, but Jaedong's really on top of things, so I don't think that's going to transpire. So I think for the time being, he's going to manage to obfuscate that he wants to go for this 973, and it may be successful here. I think the fact that it's also the entrance being horizontal like this also does benefit for a Hydra bust here, since the buildings are more wide than they are tall, so it does help the Hydras target down the wall, and does also force the Protoss player to build his cannons right up against the wall if he wants to defend it, which makes it even easier to Hydra bust, because then you don't even need range, you can just shoot the cannons over the wall easily.
Right, and I don't know about this third base being up here now at the 12 o'clock. This is as far as it gets for a Hydraless bust. Like, taking maybe the other main base would be a little bit farther, but this is going to be difficult to execute here with Jaedong sending Hydras from this far away, and more Lings are coming out here. He's kind of disguising the fact that he's going for this by building a lot of drones over at this base, and pumping out some Lings, but there's still no Ling speed, which might be starting to tip the hat here towards Snow, figuring out what is going on. This probe likely going to get taken out. No, just barely managing to slip away. There's so many Lings here. Making sure that he has enough to deny a Zealot from coming out here, and Snow indeed isn't going to send that Zealot. There's going to be an opportunity here pretty soon, but Snow seems to have sniffed it out a little bit. He has more cannons on the way here in the natural. Something fishy is going on, and Snow is going to get prepared for a bust.
Yeah, and he's going up to 3 cannons, which is like the basic safety net you have to go for here. And he's going to rely on this Corsair to figure out exactly what's coming his way. He will let these cannons finish if he sees these Hydras coming out here. But he's looking like he's going to just pick away at this Overlord. Then that will force Jaedong to reveal these Hydras. And now he knows, so he's going to let these 2 cannons finish up, and he may even start a 4th cannon here in just a moment, because he does need to be extra safe against this, because if Jaedong isn't just faking this, and he is going to be committing to a Hydra bust, like, this can kill him very soon. There's enough Zerglings here to even engage the Zealots on the north, where the Hydras engage at the south, and he might actually, force a big probe pull here. Very wise from Snow to realize that he needs probes here as well, because if Jaedong starts to just pick off 1 or 2 of these cannons and really softens up the defenses prematurely, it's going to be much harder to stabilize this position, and this will maybe force Jaedong to rethink his decision making here and not actually fully commit to this. And a very fast robo from Snow. Do you want to go Reavers from here?
I think that might be his choice. It's very good at, like, it's a really, really quick solution to a Hydralisk bust. If your opponent is going to just commit to this and keep on trying to bust here, it takes a long time to get Templars with Storm to the front, but a Reaver can pop out relatively soon. Just walk over, and it's basically held. There's no way to bust through, a bunch of cannons and a Reaver with just pure Hydra at this stage of the game. So it's a very quick solution. However, it seems like Jaedong is not going to continue with this Hydra bust. He's going to throw down a whole bunch of hatcheries, start to transition into a large amount of drones here, and take this into a later game. So we are going to see that situation unfold here with the kind of interestingly placed third base.
I don't think it's Reavers. I think it's DT drop.
ET drop? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, this is wild.
Well, he's counting on the fact that Jaedong will have a late lair, which means his Overlord speed will be very delayed. So if he's only got Overlords like covering the entrances to his natural and third, there's no Overlord in the main base. So then we can just DT drop into the main, kill the drones, kill the hatchery, and then maybe the Hydroden.
Wow, this is big brain. This is giga brain play from Snow, actually. If that's what he's doing, he's totally right. There's no way that Overlord speed is going to be done here. I haven't seen this as a counter to this play yet, to the Hydralisk bust yet, but he's sending a Hydra down here. Look at this, Jaedong. He's going to spot it.
Yeah.
And as soon as he sees this, he knows what's coming here, either a DT or possibly a Reaver, but he should be popping out some Overlords in his main base and bringing Hydras back to defend. Wait, he's not moving. Okay, he is going to move now. I don't think he saw it. I don't think he saw it fly over, actually.
Or he's not respecting the fact that this could be a DT at very least. He took a long time before he started maneuvering down, and these DTs are going to go in and just start slaughtering these drones very quickly. At least 3, maybe 4 going to go down. 4 already have gone down, 5 even, and now going to be able to come down here and start hitting the hatchery or the eggs that are morphing. Overlord actually pops out just in the nick of time, so not going to be getting any additional damage. Just those initial 5 drones trying to split the DTs off left and right now to see if they can run around and get some of these drones. Come back in, another drone going down, 2 drones going down for that DT, and a third. So that's a total of 8 drones kill. That's a huge amount of damage. You may even be able to get out with this DT.
Oh, this is a funny thing that I've noticed a lot. If you take a look at Jaedong's base, he's got the spawning pool just above the hatchery between the mineral patch and the gas geyser there. And I've noticed on this map that if you transfer drones from natural to main, your drones all go behind the mineral patches, and that actually costed Jaedong several drones there. So that's something that I just do automatically as a Zerg player. I think a lot of Zerg players just automatically send their, or just build their spawning pool there for no real reason other than that's where they always put it, and it gets kind of punishing on this map. So funny to see Jaedong copy that as well and have a hard time or actually lose drones because of it.
Yeah, it looks like Jaedong just going to be pumping out like 4 minimal Scourge just to bully away the Corsair harassment for the time being, while pumping out as many Hydras as he can. I don't think he has the kind of gas right this second to make a large amount of Mutas. He may want to instead just go straight into Lurkers here, but he needs to be careful with these small forces of Hydras getting bullied around the map as he tries to get some reinforcements to this north base. Pretty good Sim City setup though. The Zealots will not be able to have good surface area to break this, and now Jaedong's reinforcements going to even get the snipe on that DT on the exit as well. So a little bit of stabilization finally for Jaedong, and the supplies, relatively speaking, look actually pretty okay for Jaedong. And he has got Lurkers out already with tech pretty much stabilized now. He's got his upgrades on the way, so all things considered, this might be a little bit Jaedong favored.
This is a very quick and easy fourth base to take now for Jaedong as well. It's well protected by the rallies coming out, so I actually, I was a little bit questioning the placement of that fourth base earlier on, but I'm starting to see the benefits here from Jaedong coming up with a new way of playing it out on this map. I'm liking it right here. Now he's going to come forward with some Lurkers, just the first 3 Lurkers trying to start this containment. We did have a very fast robo from Snow, but I don't see an observer right now. The storms were pretty good, and Jaedong will get forced back a little bit, but he's going to take over this high ground, and things are going to get a little difficult here for Snow if he doesn't have an observer out pretty soon. Oh, there it is. Okay, he's got it out already.
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to keep Jaedong at bay here and secure his own third base, but Jaedong might want to still maintain his position up on this high ground for as long as possible and make it a little bit annoying for Snow to come out here. He does want to, yeah, he's going for this third base already, and he's even got the Dark Archon just waiting for the Maelstrom, so if Jaedong was...
Scourge are coming. Can he catch this? There's a drop coming in. Look at, oh, come on, look at it. Oh! Beautifully done.
Yeah, does manage to get 2 of the Zealots out, but not quite what he wanted to achieve there. He wanted to get in the main base and cause a lot of mayhem, and instead Jaedong kind of on top of everything here. I think he should have taken a little bit more of a strategic path in navigating that shuttle rather than just going on a straight course to the main base there. Maybe should have gone down to the bottom right pocket of the map a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Jaedong already knew that there was a shuttle out on the map, so he was aware. He was building Scourge, getting prepared for that, and he catches it. That's just another thing in his favor right now. I thought what he was going to do is hold actually the containment here on Snow, but he's actually backed away from that, surprisingly. Not even going to lose a drone here either. That's pretty good, but he's given up this plateau, and now Snow's going to be able to move out, taking his own plateau back at home and just moving to 4 base really fast.
I don't mind this from Jaedong. I actually think this is really smart, because I think that right now that the scales of power are a little bit Snow favored for just a few moments, but this gives Jaedong just a few precious seconds to get a few more lurker rounds out, a few more extra units to the rally point, and now with his own high ground plateau to low ground transition, this is much harder for Snow to break into now that there's a much more fortified position with many more lurkers than would have been if Snow was just breaking up his own ramp. So I actually like this a lot from Jaedong. Needs to be careful though not to give any space for free here to Snow and keep forcing many resources out. Maelstrom does go down with the Storm combination, killing off about 8 or so Hydras initially, but there is a big spread of lurkers here to make it very challenging for Snow to get up here. He has got quite a formidable force of Dragoons raining down onto those Hydras on the high ground with their phase disruption shots with the 2-1 armor weapon combo, but 2-1 also ready for Jaedong as well, so still trading pretty cost efficiently, and as long as he doesn't get stormed to death here as he tries to keep these forces at bay, I think Jaedong's in a pretty strong position.
Oh, really great trades here from Jaedong, the way that he is controlling just small groups of Hydras, making sure that nothing is too cost efficient here for Snow. Really inspiring here, and now the observers are going to come forward. There's an opportunity to snipe. He actually storms his own observer and loses it. That's a little bit rough. Only 1 observer remains, and more small groups of Hydras just poking out here, grabbing some more kills, doing some more damage. A nice Maelstrom to pick those off, but this is just small fry stuff for Jaedong. He's trying to trade little by little here, picking off some Templar now, gets a couple more. I don't think that Snow's going to be able to break this the way that it's going here. Jaedong seems to be completely stable, and he should be going into Hive here relatively soon.
Yeah, no, Defiler Mound's actually already on the way, saying I think it just finished up, and meanwhile Snow just going to be inversely taking this expansion at 9 o'clock, getting up onto 4 base. Got his 2-2 upgrades finished now. Jaedong also going to be ramping up his own production, making more and more hatcheries, going up to about 7 to 9 hatchery production at the bare minimum. It's going to be really tough for Snow to break into it. At the moment, I think he just wants to trade and keep skirmishing with Jaedong. Pretty good storms there, taking out the majority of the Hydra Force, but Jaedong's like macroing on all cylinders right now. A lot of units are pouring out of these hatcheries to reinforce, so at the very best, Snow can just hope to trade well and keep skirmishing with him while he's expanding a bit. But look at Jaedong, he's already causing like a little bit of a counterattack here on the 9 o'clock, killing some of the cannons that are being made and now harassing the mining of Snow and kind of pulling the army around on the map as well. Now the army's like retreating from what they were doing at the front. Now they're not even skirmishing the front anymore, and instead they're on like defensive measures only, and this is giving Jaedong a lot even more breathing room to just keep macroing up larger and larger portions of red virus to just spread out onto the map and keep consuming these like pockets of blue units that try to dart forward and skirmish. But he's doing a pretty good job of dodging around the map with his Hydras, dodging all these storms, killing High Templars when he can. So far everything's going Jaedong's way. Snow, I think there'll be a bit of a turning point here. If Snow can stop Jaedong from expanding anymore and avoid taking too many like just huge plagues onto his army over and over again, maybe Snow can stabilize this game state a bit more. But as it stands, I really do feel like Jaedong's in control here, Sam.
Yeah, well, Snow has that map control here. He's not covering this bottom pathway, which could become really painful if Jaedong gets over there towards that third base of Snow and gets a Darkstorm down there. This might become a real problem. Meanwhile, Snow is fighting up a ramp against Darkswarm. That's not going well. One Zealot here catching onto this army before it makes its way into position. 2 Templar are available, but they don't have energy. He could snipe these really quickly before they get that energy and the resources to defend here. Darkstorm comes down, but it's actually going to help the Zealots to clear this. He's just going to focus the Nexus. Nexus going to go down really, really fast here. Jaedong taking a big win in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, Snow just got this 9 o'clock base online. Now he's reset back to 3 base economy against a 4 base Zerg. This is not a place you really want to be in at this point in the game state. This is really not favoring Snow at all. Has got some ability to try and get away here with this army to join up with his rally forces, but Jaedong's already on top of things and already is in hot pursuit of these units, sniping off some of these High Templars before they can even retreat back to the safety of their home base here. And this is really unfortunate for Snow because now the supplies are actually kind of like evening out. This is really, really rough spot to be in as Protoss player. This really does kind of seem to indicate that Snow is at risk of being bowled over here in a few moments soon.
This is a great opportunity for Jaedong to snag the other plateau. So he's going to move to take that spot. He's actually coming down here towards the 4th base. Oh, wow. A Maelstrom goes down on these units. I think that's going to run out in time for Jaedong to spread those out before Storms can polish them off. But, I mean, he slows down the attack here into the 4th. Now the remainder of the forces are coming up here for Snow. He's going to be able to hit this from the back, and it doesn't look like Jaedong can kill this base. But he will get rid of the cannons here. He does lose control of the other plateau, though, and he doesn't have another base coming up and online. There is one being started in the very top left-hand corner. That's kind of an unlikely base, but... oh, this one down here as well. Look at that. Taking double expansion on either side of the map. Let's see how that goes. Oh, DT gonna get this! Wow, that is a huge kill right there.
Yeah, that's a huge win for Snow. Mitigating as much of this utility available to Jaedong is critical here. There's a lot of dark swarms and plagues that are going to become a nightmare for him soon. And he's doing a good job of weathering the storm for the time being while he gets this expansion at that bottom right base back up online, while he also gets his defenses secured here. But yeah, like you say, Jaedong expanding opposite ends of the map, double and double succession like this. This does seem to be on pace to still favor Jaedong with 3-2 upgrades finished now on these units, and I imagine melee upgrades going to be finishing soon to make these cracklings even more potent. As soon as plague starts to become more relevant, this is going to be when the cracklings start to shine. They only become super relevant against Protoss when plague is a factor, because it's just so much harder to chew through the Protoss army against Storm, against Goons and Zealots, and if you don't have that, like only having to chew through their shields just makes it so much easier to gobble through those Protoss units. So if we see that soon, like clumps of units getting plagued over and over again, I think there's going to be lights out here for Snow. But if he keeps his army spread, keeps moving around the map, and keeps fluid, I think that there's still a chance here for Snow to get a win. But I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, he's going to have to punish these bases or shut down some of these bases on opposite sides of the map. You can't allow both of them to come up, that's for sure. You'd like to deny both of them. But there's a big plague, the first one of this match. Another great plague here on a ton of different zealots, and Snow's army is looking kind of weak now with all their red HP here. Plus, he's not able to get in on this base in the top left. Bottom right is starting to get really well fortified. Lurkers here on the high ground. This plateau is going to be taken by Jaedong. Okay, I don't like him stacking his Lurkers quite like that, but hey, maybe he can get that Archon. One Storm is actually going to wipe out 4 Lurkers here if he's not careful, so he actually backs away. This is good. Going to head up into the top left-hand corner, I guess. He's going to do a bit of a defensive play here. Has an opportunity to snipe some of these. 1, 2, 3. Oh, almost gets all 3. Plagued Templar go down so fast to Hydras.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They've only got 40 shield, 40 hit points, and without any armor, they just seem to melt. And like most of the Protoss army seems to melt with its plague. It's very hit point and armor heavy. So once you do have those units plagued and shields are the main factor, it's so much easier to clean up these units. They are like glass cannons at that point. And oh, look at this Storm drop in the top left, getting quite a few drone kills. And meanwhile, Jaedong still trying to assault the rally point area of Snow and maybe get this base again in the bottom right pocket, but I don't think this time it's going to be successful. There's just a little bit too much here for Snow, but he is diverting the attention away from Snow launching his own attacks on these expansions. Meanwhile, Jaedong just happy churning out as many units as possible to keep smashing into Snow, who's now mined out on his bases, back down to a 2-base economy. So this could work out for Jaedong in this war of attrition.
I like what Jaedong is doing right now. He's forcing Snow to run into Lurkers over and over again, and now he's hitting another base. Starting to break through a little bit here. Bringing all the defenses from the top left, though, in order to make this happen. So if it doesn't work, and there's lots of army left over, he could end up losing that base in the top left. He's going to kill all the probes, though. The Lurker spines here at the end are crazy. He's got to target a little bit more here. One more Storm goes down. The Lings are killing off a few of the last probes. Jaedong needs to get over here to the top left to save this base, but he's done a good job killing a bunch of probes here at the 4th.
Yeah, Jaedong's doing like the 1-2 punch thing over and over again. Like he sends one army to 9 o'clock and then he comes down to 6 and he seems to rinse and repeat this maneuver, force the Protoss army out of position, and then try another attack onto this other plateau, get in as many kills on this rally army as we can, and then try and maybe kill the expansion or at least force good traits as the army comes in to reinforce. And it so far has really worked out for him. Supplies starting to tip into Jaedong's favor actually. Plague coming down on the Nexus and cannons, just trying to really ram home his advantage at the moment. And even if he's trading at just a 40-50% efficiency, that's all he really needs to do right now. He's mining on way more bases than Snow. Only 2-base economy for the Protoss player, who will eventually become starved out if this game state maintains for any longer, Sam.
No Templar drops down to this bottom right. I'm not even sure that Snow is aware of that base right now. Otherwise, I'm sure he would be trying to do something about that. That's pretty undefended mineral line over there. And Jaedong getting away with murder a bit, but he's just putting on so much pressure. It's not giving Jaedong any room to breathe or to think here. With army just coming into his rally point and sniping Templars constantly, how is he supposed to get out there and actually deal with any of these bases on the map? It's not kind of an afterthought behind survival at this point, and I don't know if he's even going to be able to survive. The rallies are coming forward here. More and more Lings to the front lines. Dragoons are just getting popped and all the Storms get thrown down, but the Templar are dying over and over again and never making Archons here. This is getting really, really desperate. I think that Jaedong has just done it here.
Yeah, I think Jaedong's just like spitting dragon fire and melting this snowman. I don't think he can weather this. Like, he's done a good job of maintaining his form, but eventually he will melt, you know. This is not looking like a tenable position. He's getting this expansion killed down here with these cracklings. He's losing so much of his army. He's 30 supply behind Jaedong, who's now almost maxed out on his upgrades. Just one upgrade left remaining on his melee. Snow has 3-2-3 on his Protoss infantry, which is pretty good, but against 3-2 cracklings, 3-3 hydras and lurkers, and this amount of insurmountable forces that you're having to fight against, there's so many more drones than probes mining right now, and even more favored on the army side of things as well. So everything is in Jaedong's favor right now. It's basically his game to lose. It should be an unlosable position for him. Snow's making a few desperate attempts of like getting a few DTs around on the map, see if he can get anything work in his favor, but Jaedong's dotted his I's and crosses his T's meanwhile doing all of this. So those expansions are also pretty well defended against any kind of harass shenanigans. So it looks like it's going to be lights out here for Snow in a few moments, Sam.
Dude, Jaedong is so scary when he gets to a good macro position when a player like Snow's not able to really pull him apart or, you know, deal early damage. He's so scary to watch. He's just got an amazing ability to crank out Zerg units and bring them to the front line in the right points and the right times here. Great job for Jaedong. First game of the day. Takes out Snow. I was not expecting that, but really well done. Gets the clapper from KCM. Incredible game number 1 here in our 3rd week, season 2.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting Jaedong to have that good of a show. It was nice to see.
Yeah, that was good. Holy. Yeah, the Jaedong haters, man. People in my YouTube comments saying like, "Oh, Jaedong's washed. You know, he's not any good. I don't want to see Jaedong anymore." Blah blah blah. There's so many of them, but
people don't
watch that game.
But people don't have object permanence in the sense of they look at things from the lens that they looked at things back in the day. So like they see Jaedong's washed in the sense of he's not dominating all the Zerg players 70% win ratio anymore. They're looking at it in terms of like what he was like in the past. And same with Flash. Like Flash isn't going to perform anywhere near that level for quite some time. You know what I mean? He's not washed either. It's just that, you know, not everyone's going to perform as and also the environment changes. It's not so much that they're worse players. The skill of everyone else is also so much higher. You know, it's all relative.
Yeah, and there's definitely still some brilliance there. I mean, I love the 4th base or the 3rd base take. Like,
yeah,
that is a tough map to hold the 3rd. Like, there's a lot of open space at the 3rd that everyone usually takes. But did you see how tight it was at the 3rd base when the Zealots tried to come in?
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting in there. It's crazy. There's not even an evolution chamber, but there was no shot.
Yeah.
There's no space to get a Zealot past that wall. Like,
yeah, as long as you got one Hydra to plug between the hatcheries and then a two Hydra wide wall on the other gap, you're fine. So you got a 3 Hydra gap to worry about.
Yeah, you just got and I mean you can maneuver eggs in there as well and like get them into the right spot to make it even harder. But compare that to the top, like to the regular 3rd base. There's so much space on a regular 3rd base. It's crazy.
It makes sense both on SimCity sense. It also makes sense in like how easy it is to take the 4th base then, because you already got your plateau under control if you do that setup, right? So taking your 4th base should be natural and smooth, whereas taking it otherwise might be a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, I loved it. I love it. Well done by Jaedong. Let's go into our next one.
Let's do it.
Get it started. All right, Jaedong really impressing me there with that last game. I love the location of the 3rd that he took. I thought it was genius. The tightness of that base. It's so hard to get in there with Zealots. I never really thought about that as the 4th, although we do see it, or the 3rd, excuse me, although we do see it against Terran sometimes. You'll take that as your 3rd, going for Hydralisk Defiler, because it is a little tighter when it comes to defense with Lurker, right? I just never expected it to work that well against a player of Snow's caliber in ZVP.
Yeah, I mean, and Snow's DT drop actually was relatively successful. It didn't get maybe as much damage as he wanted, but it did kill 8 drones. It wasn't like it was a failure of a DT drop, you know what I mean? So, yeah, all things considered, that was a really impressive performance from Jaedong. I'm really excited to see mine versus Jaedong. Not a matchup I expected to see, but one I'm really looking forward to, saying a very quick drone scout from Jaedong. So if this was going to be any form of CC first or 8 racks, this would be shut down immediately and harassed to death. So really nice to see the sharp drone scout timing.
Did you catch if he... No, he didn't extractor trick to get this drone, extra drone out. So instead, just going to send that 9 drone. It does hurt your economy a little bit, though. And since he's building 1 racks expansion here, This is kind of favoring mine now, right?
Yeah.
The early drone is great in principle to shut down some of those aggressive plays. Or like really cheesy, not cheesy, really like aggressive macro plays like the CC first. But in this case, I mean, Runrack's FE is just so good.
Yeah.
Already, even from a normal game state. Here, it's just going to be that much stronger. He's trying his best to deal some damage to this SCV. He's done some, but Mind is doing a good job staying on top of that, and even with zero range, hitting that drone over and over again. It's pretty darn low now, and he will finish this.
Yeah, but Jaedong's just trying to get some compensation on this scout timing. If he can get the kill, it's even better. It does lose the drone instead. A little bit of over-aggression there for Jaedong. Gets really punished for it. I was just saying that he was getting some compensation on the extra SCV being pulled off to repair and to chase the drone. So he's getting a little bit of mining time compensation for having that drone invested early. But if he loses the drone like that, that's really rough. So overall, everything is still slightly edged towards Mind, all things considered. So Jaedong's just going to be a little bit slower relatively in dealing with Mind here.
Yeah, nothing that he can't bring back, though, with some good control and good decision making here as the game goes forward. That'll matter less and less. It's just a bit rough to start from a deficit against a player the caliber of Mind. He's going to put the pressure on you, and he knows exactly how to do so. Putting down the wall here at the front with the one racks FE and a gas already. Is this going to be just a really quick +1, or are we going to see a factory here?
No, it's going to be a +1, I imagine. Yeah, just a +1 build. That's how I imagine he would do. It does suit his style as well.
So taking the advantage here, and rather than trying to push it by, going for a 2 racks pressure play here to force out sunken colonies from Jaedong, he's instead going to go right into +1 and maybe do like a later push out, try to shut down the Mutalisk a bit harder, maybe go directly into 3 racks, something like that. We've seen a little bit of resurgence of like 4 racks, 5 racks play, but I don't think that's what we're going to see out of Mind here.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. I think it's going to be pretty standard play from him. He's identifying that Jaedong's also going for 2.5 hatch. He knows that Jaedong wants to try and catch up in the curve of the game by having extra lava available to him so he can squeeze out more drones and what have you, and not maybe necessarily commit to as many mutas in the early game as normal, because he wouldn't be able to hit those sharp timings anymore to punish Mind with that deficit of minerals early on. So instead going to be doing a much more conservative macro approach, which pretty much gives Mind the opportunity to do a much more tech favored build by getting this early +1 to get a stronger mid game lined up against Jaedong's a little bit delayed tech here.
Might be able to skimp on turrets here with the number of Marines he's going to be pumping in that early +1. He's going to have a very strong ground army that might compensate for a little lack of turrets here, but Jaedong moving out to take his 3rd base now. Further probably delaying his overall Mutalisk count here. Because look at his minerals, very, very low right now, and he's just about ready to start pumping those out. It's going to be a slow trickle coming across the map to Mind. I imagine he won't need more than just a couple of turrets here to defend what Jaedong's going to be putting down.
Well, I think this was Jaedong's plan all along to try and fix the problems he had earlier on. And I think Mind anticipated this. So Mind has already like set himself up. Be like, okay, you're going to be greedy and you're not even going to make that many mutas initially. So I'm going to be super greedy myself here. We see no turrets on the way just yet. Either a few comsats coming down to scan and confirm his suspicions as well. That's going to be really important to Mind. He doesn't have an SCV scout anymore, so needs to just confirm that his suspicions are true when he sees how many drones have been made and how many mutas are on the way. And then he'll be able to min-max to the absolute extreme here, and probably will be putting a little bit of a pressure onto Jaedong when he does have a small window to do so, but for the time being wants to be very careful. He's the first scan going into the main, sees pretty much like nothing too scary. So he's probably pretty confident that Jaedong's power droned at the moment, and he has actually done that. He's pretty much droned as heavily as he could, and he does get a scan in the top left and see the big drone transfer as well. So he knows exactly what the game state is like right now, and that's going to be probably making Mine feel a little bit more confident about how he's lined himself up here. And we'll be able to put on a lot of pressure. Has actually made a lot of turrets back at home, which makes me think that Mine is setting himself up to be very aggressive in the moment. And he wants to be able to push across the map without having to worry about any backstab potential from Jadong.
Right, I think you're onto something there. Mind respecting the potential for Mutalisk here, maybe a little bit too much, but he does have a good group of Marines moving out now with that +1. I don't know. I think that Jadong's gotten away with quite a bit here, though, and now he can switch into full Mutalisk production, and there's not really anything that Mine can do just yet. He's going to have to combine another group of Marine medic here pretty soon. Otherwise, he's just going to get overwhelmed, I feel.
Yeah, I think Mine maybe has like miscalculated the game a little bit, because now Jadong's got a huge window to really punish this Bioforce, and with a full stack of mutas, as long as he can keep these bio units dogged and under control, he'll be in a good game state. Right now, the Bible is in two blobs, one fighting one stack of mutas while the others are trying to advance across the map right now. Might catch some of these.
Oh no!
Oh, yeah, he might catch these mutas. He's not paying attention though. Those Marines are on move command. He could have shot at least two, maybe killed two of those mutas there easily, but wasn't paying attention, Mind. Unfortunately for him, big window of opportunity completely missed. I feel like he needed to get the damage done there, because right now Jadong's an even supply. He wants to go in with a big Mutaling force to try and stab this Bioball if he can whittle it down just a little bit more. So Mind needs to be really careful here, because if he loses just too many more of these Marines, he'll be gobbled up.
Yeah, this is definitely an attempt by Jadong to wipe out this forest, bringing in the Lings and the extra mutas here, right now, taking out everything from Mind, and this shutdown is going to be insane swing here for Jadong. He's brought this back from kind of a small deficit in the early game to a really great position now with a huge swell of mutas here. And transition going to be coming behind this, certainly. More Lings coming up. I think he was making these in preparation to, take like 2 or 3 attempts to actually pick off that total Bioforce. But he's now getting into the main base, killing off turrets, taking over the barracks right now. Is he actually just going to be able to finish? I expected a transition was going to have to occur, but he's just doing it.
But the Ling run by into the main, it's really tough to stabilize as Terran. He can use these Lings to pick off turrets, and he can camp over the barracks with the mutas. At the very least, he's going to be doing game-ending damage here, even getting the SCV snipes on the science vessel, delaying the tech. There's now no clock on the vessels to shut out this Mutalisk harassment, so he's just going to camp on top of these barracks all day long, streamlining Lings across the map. He has a checkmate move here that he's going for. There's no way Mine can stabilize this position anymore. GG finally going to be called, and Jadong showing some serious dominance in this week of KCM, and I'm all about it, saying up. Is he going to go all the way and just start destroying everyone?
All right. Damn.
Yeah.
Jadong. Sick play.
Yeah.
Well, Mind maybe respected the mutas a little bit too much, man. He thought it was going to be that, like the timing at least, but what did Jadong make? Like 2 mutas?
Well, I think it was kind of strange. It was like Mine kind of figured out what Jadong was going to do, but it was like Jadong was even more greedy than he initially anticipated, and then he probably thought he had a stronger timing to punish Jadong, and didn't expect him to like stabilize that much and get like that threat of mutas active that early. And yeah, just kind of miscalculated maybe a little bit there.
He saw the transfer of like 7 drones going to top right when he should have been making mutas.
To be honest with you, if he didn't mess up with those Marines weren't on the move command, and he actually managed to kill those 3 mutas that were flying over him, actually like the balance of power would have been more fair. So it would have necessarily been Mind favored, but it would have been way more fairer and way harder for Jadong to get the Mutaling cleanup. So I think that was the pivotal moment there, Mind not getting that opportunity on those mutas, because if he had got that, I think he was in a much more okay spot.
I think you're right. Let's jump into this next game. Here we go with game number 3, guys. YSC sent out here the hero from last week for Protoss. Will he be able to take games off of Jadong here and others in this lineup? It's looking pretty scary, but Honestly, last week's lineup for both Zerg and Terran was a little scarier, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Although the Protoss lineup had a way better showing than we anticipated, right? Like, we thought it was kind of like just be thrown against the wall and go splat, but actually we had a really exciting week, and yeah, I would like to see YSC perform well here today as well, but so far Jaedong's on fire. He's got a lot of momentum and confidence behind him right now, and someone like YSC might just go splat against the wall this time as well. So hopefully not. Hopefully we see a really good PVZ here, but I'm a little bit worried for YSC.
Well, YSC, is he actually... Yeah, he spotted the creep here. This is interesting. He's going to wait a little bit. Does come in now. Let's see if there's a spawning pool here. He sees none, and now he will have the opportunity to deny. So I guess sitting outside of that creep, not showing the probe so that a spawning pool wouldn't start on time, but he doesn't get the block here, which is a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
He should go for the Nexus, yeah. Definitely going to go for the Nexus here. Nexus first, pretty darn good starting position here for YSC. This is all enabled by him getting that first scout, by the way. A little bit of luck for YSC going in the right way.
This may have been the plan all along. Like, he may have even deliberately not got the block on the hatchery just to make sure that the pool didn't even go down a few seconds earlier, just to guarantee getting this. Because he knows that the Overlord is going to spot this 14cc, right? That's your 12 Nexus. So he knows that's going to be spotted, but if he delays the pool going down, it makes it way harder to punish for Jaedong.
Right, he's not going to be able to do anything here to punish, and YSC putting the Forge pretty far back here. A little bit interesting, the positioning right now. I think this is for putting cannons farther forward. You want to... this is for a Protoss player that really doesn't want to get Hydra busted and killed or lose his Forge in the early game. But it's a little bit funny to see here. The positioning is looking a little bit weird.
Oh, he's going to catch his probe. Oh, the shield HP regenerated just as he got the spine hit, unfortunately. So 1 HP probe yet again, going to be sneaking away from that. Still being blocked by this pylon, and a little bit annoying for Jaedong to have to deal with. He's going to throw down the macro hatchery instead, which is probably the wise move, because it's going to be taking such a long time to kill that pylon. He needs to just get his production up and running.
Yeah, it's a good choice here, but it is a frustrating little bit of damage that's been done by just a probe. Throwing down excess buildings that can be cancelled, and it looks like YSC will let it finish. But it's still such a small commitment to deal a lot of economic damage here. And probably guarantee that we're not going to see a Hydra Den. Oh! Wow. Overlord died to the cannon?
Oh, no.
Wait.
Okay.
When's the last time you lost an Overlord to a cannon, Shun?
A long time. And I'm really shocked that we're seeing it here, Sam, because that actually really cripples Jaedong, because he just had an Overlord finish, but now he's still supply block. This is the critical supply block of Zergs, yeah. And usually it's because you don't make the Overlord, but this time Jaedong made the Overlord, but now he's supply blocked. So he's basically playing like a B rank player right now who just forgot his Overlord, but it does really cripple your economy so heavily, and against the player of YSC's standard, you're going to feel that burn later on.
For sure. It's almost an unforgivable mistake, but maybe Jaedong getting a little flustered by that pylon block, and the Nexus first here is already a big advantage for YSC. He is coming across with just 2 Zealots and trying to make something happen with a lot of Lings popping out here. Is going to shut this down completely, but this is a great win here for YSC regardless. He's forced out so many Lings, and he's going to get the information down here at the third base. This is fantastic stuff. He gets behind the mineral patches. Oh, dude, this is so frustrating for Jaedong right now. He's got to be really, really upset, but he is going to be able to run by with Lings. Oh, God, the Lings are being really annoying, not wanting to run in there properly, but he does manage to get about 4 or 5 in the main. No! Almost getting caught there. We'll get on top of some of these gas probes. He needs to get like serious damage here in this base right now, or he's going to be so far behind. I just don't see how he's going to be able to bring this one back. Why is he in such an advantage? Not even going to get 1 probe. This is crazy.
This is really rough. It was a nice idea to go for this kind of backstab play to try and find some compensation in this game, but YSC's just sewn up so tight this game, and he's not really allowing these kind of tricks and shenanigans to get under his skin, and is responding very fluidly with his reactions and his drone sliding and what have you. So really impressive YSC's ability to remain composed under a little bit of pressure here and keep Jaedong on the back foot. Even now, the Zealots coming out into full effect at 6 o'clock, forcing off the mining. Not going to be getting the kills, but even just delaying any mining here for Jaedong's already a nightmare situation. He's not even mining at that base optimally because of the macro hatchery position, so it's really rough for Jaedong to have to weather this early game, and all these tiny little things with the Overlord supply block and that are going to really start to add up soon. He's trying desperately to find some kind of compensation for this issues that he's facing early game, but he's not really finding it. Even the Zealot going to be surviving into the main base. I think it's a little bit of a mistake from Jaedong. Didn't quite catch that. He killed one of the Zealots and ran back out again, and now having to allow this Zealot to come behind his minerals and be even more annoying.
Things are really starting to fall apart here for Jaedong, but he's popping a bunch of mutas and looking for an opportunity here to maybe Ogre Zerg this guy. Although cannons are finishing up everywhere. Dude, YSC is just 2 steps ahead in every which way, and Jaedong has fallen apart so dramatically here. He just doesn't have enough drones. He's going to be so far behind no matter what he does with these mutas. No matter how much micro and the time and attention he puts into this, it's just not going to bring him back into this game.
He's got like 5 or so probe kills. It's not too bad right now, but it's not the kind of damage that he needs to really find his way again. He's trying to, like, he's slightly stabilizing the scales of power. Like, his win percent went up a few ticks there as he got a few drone kills, probe kills, but honestly not a lot. This is still a really rough spot for him. He will have some map control for some time. Like, YSC won't feel comfortable moving out of his base until he's got 6 Corsairs at least with +1. So he's got that going for him. He can now power drone a little bit and just chill and see if he can come back in there again and snipe a few more probes and just be a little bit, maybe get, he gets a Corsair snipe. See, this is what I'm talking about. A few probe kills here and there, 1 Corsair snipe here and there. He can slowly balance out those scales of power while droning up back at home. So he's not out of this game by any means. He's going up to his 6 hatchery production like normal. It's just it's taking him a long time to get there.
Taking him a long time, and doesn't quite have the drone number that he would regularly have, but he's got, like you said, this map control right now, and if he keeps picking off Corsairs here, that map control will remain firmly in his grasp. Here we go, jamming on another couple of Corsairs. Wow. 2 more get picked off. Dude, this is huge.
Wow.
Jaedong is going to be able to maintain this control for a little bit longer, and that means more drones, more opportunities to come back here for Jaedong.
Yeah, that's like championship mindset there, using like some finesse to do some very sneaky shenanigans. But this DT does get into the 6 o'clock base. Look at the timing of that Sangha Colony finishing up as well. Everything is just so perfect for Jaedong. The stars are aligning for his comeback in this game thus far. And with those Corsair snipes, really does put YSC into a tough spot. He can't come out onto the map. He has no map control at all. And not only that, but he's having to replace those Corsairs. So he's more gas investment going down the drain instead of Storm, instead of upgrades that he valuably, very critically needs at this point in the game. So everything's lining up for a Jaedong comeback here. And I feel like a little bit of issues from YSC is that he's not respecting Jaedong's abilities and his control enough, because anyone should know that Jaedong of all people are going to be coming in there to snipe your Corsairs like that over and over again, and he should be way more on top of his Corsair control in those situations and be willing to micro them back whenever he needs to. But unfortunately, he just seems to be a little bit lazy against Jaedong, which I feel is going to be a really come back to haunt him in a few moments here, because Jaedong's now going to get full control over this game.
You cannot get complacent here as the Protoss player. You cannot just allow the Zerg away back in. He set up a bunch of cannons, making sure that the Ogre Zerg play wasn't going to work, but it looks like Jaedong is confident enough to dive in here again. There are 3 cannons here ready to fight, but a lot of these Corsairs are going to die. 3 Corsairs go down to the Scourge. Is there enough splash damage here to push away the mutas? It certainly seems so. That 1 more Corsair, actually, wait, what? That Corsair goes down as well. He almost takes control of the main base here. This was quite the gambit by Jaedong, but it works out pretty darn well. Another Storm goes down. Not exactly what he wanted, but he is really putting the pressure on YSC right now.
Yeah, 7 Mutas actually beat 3 Corsair. It's just this cannon that's making the determining factor and the HP of the Mutas. But now the Scourge coming in to zone out the Corsairs while sniping the cannons that are being made. A Storm is needed to keep softening up these Mutas. And he might get a good snipe on this High Templar. He's like, oh, tries to get a good predictive Storm, but instead just going to be getting sniped himself. Beautiful play from Jaedong. All these Mutas are dangerously low on HP as well. So if YSC was a little bit more astute with his determining where to storm there, Jaedong could have lost a lot of Mutas for not even killing that High Templar, but instead Jaedong's confident gamble paid off and he's doing everything right so far and actually ahead in supply setting after that disastrous start.
Wow, that is something to behold, man. Jaedong's control and his confidence in playing this Mutalist style is something to behold. A third base will be coming down here. There's the Corsairs getting some more damage on the Mutas. They don't have much HP left, so taking a fight at this point probably not going to be possible, but he's looking to dive again. I think he wants to just get the snipes on the Corsairs if he can, while trying to take potentially a fourth base. He's got a drone out here. He hasn't tried to take this just yet. Full-on Hydra production behind this has begun because Jaedong has the numbers. He's got the drone count now to make it happen. I just don't think he has what it takes to actually kill this third base now. He's probably going to have to try and extend this game out a little bit further instead.
Yeah, I think the aim of the game here is just keep maintaining map control, killing these Corsairs like we see here, while also trying to grow himself. But so far has been slowed down in taking that fourth base. That Zealot's still active, just retreating now. But yeah, Lurker going to be the transition here from Jaedong as a follow-up. Hasn't got a lot of ground forces built up just yet, and hasn't got this fourth on the way. So if YSC can get this third base uncontested, which seems to be the case, does seem to be getting dove on a little bit here, but has enough forces to ward away the continued threats of Jaedong for the time being. So we'll be getting this third base up uncontested. Jaedong going to be expanding to the bottom right, natural expansion, and maybe getting the fifth base for free as a result of doing that. And we'll have a better saturation of minerals available to him instead of taking that mineral only as well. So I actually kind of like this play from Jaedong, taking this as his expansion. Would like to see him maybe even take two bases right now, but seems to be confident just to try and push up this lane against YSC. I think it's a little bit of a mistake from Jaedong to commit this heavily with just a small pocket of units. Gets a little bit of surround on some of the Dragoons, but with just these, it seems like he really wants to lock out the third base from having any unit flow, but I don't think that's going to be successful. I think there's a little bit of an overextension here from Jaedong, but I guess he's banking on the fact that observers are so late. I haven't seen an observatory yet.
You know, the Robo just finishing up here in the natural observatory, going to start now. It's funny that he's doing a style like this. No Hydras have really been brought to bear thus far. He's switching all the way into Lurker lane late game here.
Yeah.
At a very early point in this game. So many drones being made and sent down to the bottom right. I mean, is this kind of crazy quick transition going to work out for him? He's going into Defiler Mound, and it's only 13 and a half minutes in. He's going to have that 14-minute Defiler despite all the madness that's gone on this game. A very quick, interesting transition here for Jaedong into the latest stages of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it so far, but this is the most flimsy junction of the game for him, though. There is a moment here where YSC can amount a very formidable force to just try and bowl Jaedong over in the next minute of the game. So Jaedong's going to have to really stabilize his position and make sure he's got enough lurkers to just spread out and not have anything threaten him for quite some time, because there will be a little window here for YSC to get some damage done. I'm going to be escorting this shuttle into the main base. There is no overlords here if there's DTs, but it might just be a storm drop to kill as many drones as possible, which should be successful in and of itself. If he does get some critical damage done to Jaedong's economy right now while he's supply blocked as well, this could be huge. Oh, it's going to be DTs. Okay.
Or DTs in the main. Oh, it's really, really rough attack. You can kill so many buildings as well. It's not just a threat to the drones here, like a storm drop, but to the tech as well. It can go after the spawning pool, the Defiler's Mound. You can even go after the Hive here if you so choose. And with the Corsairs here to deny the Overlords from coming back, you're going to have to bring a lot of forces, a lot of Hydras to this defense. He's bringing so many Overlords. He just doesn't have the Hydra force, though, to deal with this. Oh, the Defiler's going to go down. These Spire's going to go down. The Mound is going down as well. Scourge are being brought forward finally to push this back. but he's going to lose even the evolution chamber as well. Dude, this is so rough. Everything was going really, really well for Jaedong, but this one move from YSC is shutting him down brutally right now.
Well, Jaedong couldn't bring his infantry force to clean this up because he was too worried about the army of YSC hitting a base while he did that. So he had to wait for the mutas to come and clean it up instead, because he knew if he used his main army that eventually he would just get overrun at another location. So Jaedong's kind of like knows he's between a rock and a hard place right now. He knows this is the most critical timing, what I was saying a moment ago, where this is where things can fall apart for Jaedong. He's at his most flimsy right now. He's trying desperately to stabilize, throwing up Nidus Canal networks and as many creep colonies and Sungans as he can. He's got his Defiler Mound being remade on that right side of the map. But look at this follow-up drop into the main base, going to be targeting the drones and the spawning pool, making it harder and harder for Jaedong to concentrate, dealing with these attacks as well, while also does get the observer snipes here to shut down this push though. So YSC will have to rely purely on storms if he wants to break through. Meanwhile though, those zealots did kill that pool in the main base, so now Jaedong's got to remake that spawning pool just to make lings. And that's really annoying at this stage.
Yeah, it's very annoying. He should be able to pick off that shuttle, though, finally. That threat is going to be removed here, but meanwhile, YSC just expanding everywhere. Look at, he's taking bases over at the top center. He's getting into robotic support base, so he's going to go into the latest stages here. The Reaver play, that tier 3, tier 4 type Protoss army versus Zerg is going to be hitting the field here soon. Some great snipes on some of these Templar that are reinforcing this army, but most of the mutas go down. A lot of lings fall as well. I don't know. This is not looking like Jaedong can really do anything to YSC here, and YSC has done a huge amount of damage to him. We are going to get into that really like Sauron Zerg style though, with 5 bases coming up here pretty soon. Can he deny the top right-hand corner from YSC, though?
Yeah, that's gonna be the question. Yeah, once Jaedong finally catches up in the tech again, because the Defiler Mound snipes, it is going to slow down the plague timing quite significantly. But Jaedong does still have the infrastructure behind him to really put on a big Sauron Zerg threat to YSC. He's actually currently ahead in supply by about 20. He can definitely bowl YSC over, but he has been significantly slowed down in his attempts. And because that Defiler tech is so late, it's going to make it harder for these cracklings to get the value that they need. And it will give some time to YSC to secure additional expansions, go up to 5, maybe 6 base, get this top right corner set up and just split the map in half and then go into like super late game and overwhelm Jaedong that way. Definitely would give him a win condition. But as it stands, I actually really like Jaedong's position. It's just a little bit of a slow burner for him because of how much slowed down he has been with these technical plays of YSC.
Yeah, the Defiler is out finally. It's 18 minutes in. He was about to have a 14-minute Defiler though. Yeah. And it's just been slowed down so much. This Defiler should already have all upgrades done, but we don't have Plague yet, and there's an opportunity here for YSC to maybe make a play towards bottom center. I don't know if he's going to be able to get in there, though. It seems like he's just taking a position and daring Jaedong to come and fight him. He might end up getting surrounded, though. This is such a good defensive position for Jaedong, and the army could come around through the Nidus Canal and hit this from behind, trapping it in this corner. YSC just going to pull out immediately. He doesn't want any part of that.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't want unwanted pregnancy, he better pull out soon. That's all I can say. Does have a pretty good position on this right-hand side ridge line. Kind of do like it, but not that many high Templars at his disposal. Needs to be careful not to get swallowed up from behind here. Oh, gets a snipe on that.
Shuttle.
Yeah, the shuttle goes down as well. Everything is going so well for Jaedong. He's still like almost 30 supply up as well. Like honestly, despite him looking really flimsy earlier on, he's done a really great job of maintaining his lead, and now he's in full on Sauron Zerg macro mode, and he's going to be getting that plague finished up soon. Could maybe get some more of these high Templar snipes with these mutas if he's active enough as well. Hasn't really been super. Oh, finally plague is done. Saying this is when things are really going to kick up into high gear now. We got a maxed out Zerg.
Wow, Jaedong doing something that is incredibly difficult, which is continuing to macro even after getting your entire tech tree sniped. He didn't lose his hive, but he lost his Defiler Mound. He lost so much of his main base, but he's managed to pull everything together here, and the Sauron Zerg is going to start to hit the field. This small, wimpy little army here in the middle for YSC is not looking like it's going to be able to stand much longer as the plagues come through and lings start to flood the map. it's going to be really, really tough for YSC to start to take top right. He hasn't even set up any pylons or cannons over in that location. He does have Reavers at top center, and he is currently on 5 bases with 3 of them still mining here, but Jaedong is just going to keep on growing. It looks like his next target going to be center right. Try and take that base as well. Has Muta still flying around top right, just making sure that YSC has no easy time of taking another base right now.
Yeah, I mean, YSC's got pretty decent upgrades right now, 2, 1, 3, but it doesn't really matter. Like, we've got a maxed out Zerg that's going to be confident just to keep chucking army at you over and over again to trade, setting up these fortified positions with lurkers and swarms that you can't break into the deeper lines of the Zerg. Meanwhile, just attack moving in, big conga lines of red streaming across the map eventually will force the Protoss player into retreat. And meanwhile, he doesn't even need to take the 3 o'clock base or sometime. He's got enough gas in the bank that just taking these mineral onies is going to be more than sufficient. Meanwhile, I don't think Snow is going to be able to take the top right for quite some time. And oh my god, he's lost so many high tempers in the top left to those mutas. Hey. That's crazy. Right now, though, Snow's not looking like... Sorry, YSC's not looking too bad on paper, but... yes, he's got like the Reavers at 12 o'clock. It's going to be hard for Jaedong to break these bases, but the longer this game goes on, the more of a win percentage Jaedong has. It's really tough for YSC to navigate further in this game. He's going to be able to trade and skirmish for quite some time, but he's not going to be able to break Jaedong, and he's not going to have an easy time of setting up these bases in the top right. He's trying now, while Jaedong's distracted on the left-hand flank here, to set up some cannons and what have you in the top right to secure these bases maybe, but I don't think it's going to be too successful here.
Going to be tough to get those up. If he has a shuttle, maybe he can bring a couple of Reavers over here. That makes it a lot harder to break in. That is still a win condition that maybe YSC could make happen, but Jaedong, I've been watching his supply, and even as masses of Zerg are falling, his supply is staying at roughly 200 supply. He's just macroing like an absolute god, whereas YSC is barely passing 160 at any point in this game. Jaedong's just shoving forward. Reavers here in the mix now. Even the Dark Archon is coming out here, maybe to feed back some of these Defilers, but Hydra's Lings are all it's going to take to pick this off. He snipes the shuttle. That is a huge pick. 2 Reavers were inside of that, and this base is just going to go down really, really fast. What are you going to do now, YSC? You've got only 1 base mining here in just a moment as center left starts to mine out.
He's almost double the supply of YSC right now. It's absolutely bonkers that he's not only he's staying maxed out while fighting the Protoss player. He's remaxing constantly while fighting, and he's just whittling down the Protoss again and again and killing more bases. There's no way the top right can go up now, and eventually YSC will run out of gas in this game. He's going to maybe make another minute or 2 effort here to try and hold on, but there's just no way he can get this base up in the top right anymore. Jaedong's going to cripple this in a few moments.
I wonder what happened at the main natural and third here for Jaedong. There's no drones that I can see mining any minerals over there, but I think we might have missed something. Either that or Jaedong just transferred all the workers to the forward bases so that he could suck up the minerals there as quickly as possible and keep the minerals in the main and natural in reserve. Maybe for later, just in case this game goes long. I don't know, but Jaedong is scouring the map here. He's clearing out top right. He's just overwhelming YSC at every level. YSC, a formidable opponent, but against a 5-base Jaedong, not even a challenge here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That with the drone assessment as well, he definitely wants to like keep his saturation as optimal as possible, so he has as many minerals at his disposal at any given time. So there's no comeback potential for YSC at any point. Just look at this war of attrition that Jaedong's raining on him. Like, this must be like what it feels like to fight against like the Tyranids or something. It's just nothing you can do. Eventually just overwhelm you with like sheer numbers and like calculated assessments.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a really good performance from Jaedong, man. He was in a really rough spot initially as well. So many things went wrong for him.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, the list is ridiculous, right? He wasn't able to put the hatch down at the right spot. he took some damage from the Zealots. The Zealots got behind his mineral patches. He tried to run by into the main. That did nothing.
Got his Overlord sniped as well to the cannon early on. You got the
Overlord cannon
block, yeah.
Yeah. It's just everything went wrong. They still managed to bring it back. That is insane.
Championship mindset, my man.
He just says like, well, I'm not going to be able to contend with you in the mid game if I just go for mid game timing. Like, it's going to be all delayed. So why don't I just go for a late game timing, way faster instead of a hardy mid game into a late game. Let's just go for no mid game or right into late game as fast as possible.
Yeah, and it's good that he banked on YSC not being on top of his Corsair control. Like, he really exploited him with his Muta Scourge versus Corsair's early game. That really gave him a big window back into it.
Yeah, if YSC had been able to come out on the map and like punish him and push him to the limits, and fight his mutas and counterattack and run in with Zealots, like, I don't think he could have been able to sneak out that many drones and get that far along in tech that quickly. It would have been rough. But yeah he just makes it happen.
But Jaedong's the perfect player to do those kind of things, like, because he's not just a macro player, right? He's so good at micro and shenanigans. So it's like he knows how to turn bad situations into favorable ones if you give him any kind of room to breathe.
Super well done. Let's go into this next one. While Jaedong impressing the shit out of both of us here, Shun, this guy just crazy the way he's able to bring games back from the brink. And the late game play there from him in both these two past games is just so good, so impressive to watch.
Yeah, not only that, but he's getting to those stages of the game after taking such heavy deficits. Like, so much went wrong for him at the start of that last game, and he's still pulling through that strong. It's kind of unfathomable, honestly. So much went wrong for him in those games. Like, even the times where he's lost his Overlord to the cannon, or he had his hatchery blocked, or there's the times where he had his like pool sniped, den sniped, everything was late. It's just so many things can go wrong for him, and he still finds a way of navigating to really favorable positions. It does kind of show his caliber and his experience, and someone like him really is a champion level player who's able to keep cool and collected even during the most craziest of times. Most Zerg players would probably fold like a house of cards, but players like Jaedong and Hero able to keep their cool and make it look like a Zerg favored matchup really heavily.
Yeah, that was scary to watch. If you're a Protoss player, you're going to be shivering in your boots watching the Zerg swarm like that. Doesn't look very beatable, honestly, but here we are with Speed now in the bottom left-hand corner on Retro versus Jaedong down here in the bottom right. We'll be going for a 12 hatch. Not the fastest drone scout. He didn't do as quick of a drone scout here as he did versus mine, but he is getting that out across the map. I like to do this with my early drone as well, just to check the center, make sure there's no shenanigans going down like a 2 racks in the middle of the map or anything like that. Retro is a scary map for something like that, but it's not going to be a play for the early game. Instead, we're going to go into a 1-1-1 here, most likely.
Yeah, it looks with one SCV on the gas at that time, it looks like it is going to be a 1-1-1. Throwing on another SCV now. Does get the delay on this drone from having a chance at coming in there, so there's no way that Jaedong's going to identify this 1-1-1 for some time at the very least, but might be able to start to figure that out as the game progresses a little bit here. But I think this might just be a Valkyrie build out from Speed, if I'm not mistaken. I have a feeling that he's going to be wanting to use the Valkyries to give him a better chance at dealing with Jaedong's mutalist control, and also give him earlier push timings to maybe hit a critical timing against Jaedong before he's ready with his lurkers and defilers.
I think this is going to be it could be a Wraith play. It could be a drop. Okay, Wraith. If you're going to go for the Valkyrie play, I think you have to get the CC down a lot faster. You can't just go directly into the factory there and just start making vultures and that type of thing and go into Valkyrie. You need the extra production, but here, this vulture could do a lot of damage. We don't have the Sunken here. Oh my gosh, dude, he's gonna just get smushed. He has no idea. He's gonna start the Sunken now. He can pull all the drones to the ramp. And he does have quite a few lings. Almost gets this around there, but he's got to buy a lot of time here. And this is time, you know, he's not building anything right now. He's got quite a bit of money in the bank. He's just panicking here, trying to get this up. And wraiths are being made on the other side of the map. So he's going to be in a lot of trouble when those wraiths get over here.
Oh, absolutely, saying this is going to be a nightmare. Yeah, I didn't even notice that he wasn't going for building that CC initially. I thought that maybe, like, it was just some weird like transition he was doing, but yeah, just a straight up 2-port Wraith. I thought maybe it was going to be like a vulture drop into Valkyrie or something, but yeah, just straight up vultures into 2-port Wraith it looks like, and that's going to be just the ticket that he needs to really get one over on. Jaedong does finally surround the vulture, delaying the mining on the behind the minerals there, but still one vulture active, harassing and being annoying on the periphery. And now these Wraiths going to be start to be made, and Jaedong has no idea about these Wraiths for the time being, and might take a lot of damage unless he really manages his drones really especially well here, which is going to be tough to do.
I hope he's got Burrow. If he doesn't have Burrow here, he's going to be in for a tough time. Seems like maybe not. Starting to build some creep colonies here just to buy some time for these drones before they all start to get picked off. 2 have gone down already. A 3rd now going to fall. Some mutas are going to pop out here in a moment, but there's still so much time left. He's going to get an Overlord here. That's going to supply block Jaedong. I guess he popped out a few mutas here, maybe a pair of Scourge as well, but there's the Burrow. Okay, finally he does have that Burrow online. That is a really big play here for Jaedong. Really, really important that he got that upgrade.
Yeah, he's going to try and build some pressure with these Zerglings, but unfortunately with the wall in, not going to be able to do anything with that, and we will see a bit of a transition out from speed, but still the onslaught going on, and even though he has got Burrow, he can be really annoying into stopping these drones from mining for the time being, and Jaedong will eventually stabilize, and the main factor is that he didn't get the Overlord snipe before the Spire finish, so he was able to pop out a few critical units in the nick of time there for Jaedong. So it has started to stabilize in this game, and with the borrowed Lings out on the map, we'll give him a lot of scouting as well.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of vision out here. He does have some stranded Overlords way out on the other side of the map that are potential targets here, but I think that we're going to see speed come in with the Overlords, or with the Wraiths, try to start to snipe some Overlords, because I think he just finished up Cloak. Right. So he's going to look for plays into the main. There's nothing in the main. The Overlords are gone from the main. He's going to lose so much here. No. Well, I guess he can just burrow everything.
Yeah.
But that's still a big loss in mining time here. He's not really going to be able to do anything with that main for quite some time.
Yeah, all he can do is make an Overlord in the main and then run the mutas in for just before it time that hatches. That's pretty much all he can do. He's going to unburrow and lose a few more drones to these Wraiths. There's a little bit of a misplay there from Jaedong, if I have to say. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. He's going to get... The only thing that he can say is that he forced a lot of energy burn on these Wraiths, so maybe they're really low energy right now, but... honestly, I don't think that's a big enough compensation right now. But Jaedong's going to try and go on the counter-offensive and see if he can find some damage here. And he does need to do something in this at this stage of the game.
He's going to jump on top of the bunker right now. Going to kill that immediately. Bunker going to be going down. And Overlord speed is probably about to finish here. All the Marines die. One Mutalisk is lost. But the Wraiths are trying to come back right now, and they don't have much energy. They can cloak for a moment. And he's just going to back away. Jaedong pulls back before the Wraiths engage, so even more energy was just burned here, and it's going to be harder and harder for Speed to fight. I think Jaedong has a good opportunity here to maybe take out Speed. His drones are back to mining in the main. He's done enough to push this back, and the Wraiths are just going down en masse now. These mutas being controlled brilliantly here by Jaedong getting enough damage there. He doesn't have... Overlord speed just yet, but the slow Overlords are making their way into the main base right now and might be able to gang up here with these mutas and finish off the last few Wraiths. There's only 6 remaining, but there's very few mutas to fight now.
Yeah, I think Jaedong's going to make a few more drones and just get his own economy back up and running after doing a pretty significant dent into speed with that play here. He has reduced the Wraith count significantly. He is going to be losing a few of these Overlords, though. Needs to be careful not to get any more of those sniped for free. As you say, slow Overlords are in a short supply at the moment, and needs to be careful not losing too many of those. And that's going to be the thing that's really keeping speed in a good position here, is the amount of Overlords that are going to be sniped for the time being. But Jaedong did a pretty good job of coming back and killing a few of those paper planes and reducing the count, burning as much energy. So speed hasn't got as much air dominance as he would like to have in this stage in the game, but there will be a few junctions in a moment now that the energy's replenished that he can come back in here and harass Jaedong yet again. So Jaedong could be in a little bit of trouble here if he's not on top of things.
There's a potential here for a Valkyrie to finally come out as well. We had the Armory finish up just moments ago. He's going to come in with the Wraiths first, see if he can do anything. I'm surprised we don't have Overlord speed yet. That can really leave you open to harassment and damage from these Wraiths if you just don't have that to cover these other bases. But still more Wraiths popping out here for speed. I'm shocked. Why do we have this Armory if we're not going to build any Valkyries or use it for anything? That's a little bit strange to me, but here we go. I
think he was considering doing that, and he just realized that he couldn't afford making the Valkyrie and the command center and prioritize the command center. We may see a Valkyrie as an afterthought here, but yeah, I think he made a little bit of miscalculation there with his mineral income.
That's true. That might be what occurred here. We have those starports blinking once again, but now the Mutalisk count is getting pretty high, and Scourge are available in abundance. So Jaedong will have the counter play to those Valkyries if it comes to it. Does he have Overlord speed? Now finally he has it, so maybe he can get over here, fight the Wraiths for that third base, but speed is making his way over there a little bit quicker. He's going to shoot down this Overlord and might go for that base. No, he's turning around here. Doesn't want to take an engagement that he can't win just yet.
Yeah, this is scary territory. We have a whole control group of Wraiths here, so they can really start to one-shot Overlords and be super annoying with high micro. Jaedong is familiar with this kind of battle, but he has no Overlords here to protect these mutants. He needs to be careful. He might just get chased down. He's going to lose so much damage onto those mutants already before the Overlord's in position. These Overlords can get killed so quickly, just one-shot by these Wraiths like they're nothing. So Jaedong needs to commit a lot more than just one at a time to have any chance at fighting against these Wraiths. And so far, so good for speed. He's done a great job of maneuvering around, but Jaedong really wants to put the hurt onto him, and he gets one snipe on those Wraiths, but right now it's a heavily glass cannon situation for both. There's the Valkyries that we were talking about. So if he gets up to like just two Valkyries is already a big number. If he gets up to like 3 or 4 Valkyries, this could just be lights out for Jaedong, right?
The transition is going to be coming here for JD, but maybe it's going to be too late here. The full army of Wraiths is coming forward, and with the Valkyries to support, he's going to slowly poke in here, try to snipe a few of these Scourge, and then engage fully with the Valkyries. Here they are. 3 already. There's just a few too many Scourge here, I think. So Jaedong not going to take this fight, but this is still a huge threat. We're going to have... Oh, wait, a Queen comes out. All right.
Yeah, end snare. End snare is the way to go. I completely agree with Jaedong's choice here. I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see it maybe 30 seconds sooner if he's going to rely so heavily on Muta Scourge. And he's got 4 Valkyries already. This is going to get crazy, saying if he gets up to like 6 or so Valkyries, like he might... He gets +1 on the armory as well. Like, we could see craziness in this game. I'm a little bit worried for Jaedong, but there is a chance with the end snare that he gets a complete shutdown on speed, gets a great end snare on the Valkyries or Wraiths, and then just flies in with a flock of Scourge and cleans those up in one fell swoop. That's possible, but at the moment, I'm favoring speed. Actually, I feel like his army is superior.
Yeah, we could also see just everything explode here. Whoa, Valkyries, 5 of them. Just dealing a huge amount of damage. Goes for the ensnare, completely misses. All the mutas are going to go down here. Dude, this is a sick play from Speed. He kills everything, and it goes a little bit wrong here for Jaedong. What a crazy engagement there at the end.
Yeah, I was worried about that happening. Oh my days. That was brutal to watch, Sam.
The Mutalisk count that he'd been developing that entire game, the tech that he brought out there, just not the right tool that he needed for the job. And 5 Valkyries, absolute overkill in the skies there. Annihilates that army so quickly. We're going to jump into our next game. Speed moving forward here.
Yeah, I was worried that was going to happen. I hate being right, so.
Oh my gosh, that was scary.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that. Like, unless you get like a lucky end snare, or like somehow you catch the Terran player off guard and flank the Valkyries of Scourge or something. But that's so hard to do against someone of that kind of caliber. They're not going to be caught with their pants down so easily. You know what I mean?
No, I think you need to get vision on what he's doing, like way beforehand. You know,
Yeah.
you need to like maybe put down a parasite or something so you can see exactly where the wraiths are, and then come in and like clone all the Scourge and land the ensnare on the wraiths. Like, it has to be perfect. If it's anything less than perfect, the Valkyries just smash.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And yeah, it's so tough. All right, you ready for this next one?
Y'all ready for this? Let's do it, man.
Up next, Mini versus Speed, cross map on Troy. This is going to be kind of an insane game if Speed can survive the early game, but I think Mini's going to put a lot of pressure onto him here.
Oh, abso-fruitly. That's definitely what's going to happen. And this is Troy, so we could see 9-9 gate. You could see anything under the sun here. Probably might be a 9-9 gate. And would not be surprised to see it. And to be fair, though, Speed is like not the worst player in the early game. Like, wait, isn't he's the guy that used to have the ID 10-minute flash? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, his early game is pretty strong. I don't feel too worried for him compared to, like, say, someone like Mind. But yeah, this is Mini after all, and if he does go for a 9-9, or at least like any kind of significant gateway pressure here, we could see fireworks for sure. It is cross map as well, so maybe that'll be a little bit of a benefit for Speed here. I don't know how that'll play out. The slightly longer rush distances might come into his favor enough to make this threat a little bit less potent, but it's still going to be really significant. It's going to be like a 10-12 kind of gateway play from Mini. So really strong pressure timing, but not super all in either. Like, he could do a follow-up transition going into Dragoons as well after the initial Zealot pressure.
Yeah, and I'm frightened for Speed here, even though he is that has that moniker 10-minute flash. I really rate Mini in the early game control. He's so good with these early units, and he's always going to get the damage with the probe. He's going to have the perfect control with the Zealots and Dragoons that I don't know if Speed can keep up with, especially on this map when you've got such a tight choke at your entrance to your natural, and if you lose control of that area at all, you can get locked into a one-base game very, very quickly.
Yeah, you don't even have to kill the Terran with the Zealot pressure. You do have the option of just killing these assimilators and locking him in as another wing condition, which just makes it all the more challenging as a Terran player when dealing with these early aggression builds, because there's more variety that can come your way and more options available to the Protoss player to exploit you. So it can be a little bit daunting to have to deal with that. But the cross map will give him a little bit of a breathing room here, a few extra seconds for Marines to pop out and a few more mineral cycles to occur, and much less factor of maybe the factory being delayed too much here. So there is a little bit of life for Speed in this early game for the time being, and I think he might be okay if he can get the Zealot blocks on these Zealots significantly, but not doing the greatest of jobs. So it does take 2 punches from that Zealot already, but does manage to force it away for the time being. If you can keep this hole plugged up, maybe something can be done here, but needs to be careful not to overextend.
Vulture is going to pop out here soon, so Speed just needs to buy a little bit more time. Some damage has gone down on that assimilator. If only one of these assimilators goes down, it's going to be so bad for Speed. So he gets the Vulture out here. He loses just 1 SCV so far, but he's getting some good micro here with the Vulture. And if he manages to get the Marines through this little gap, it's not going to go that well. He loses 1 Marine, but pretty decent job here so far. He's going to focus down that last, that 1 Zealot there. And as soon as that goes down, these 4 Marines and 1 Vulture should easily be able to clean it up, and there it is. He does get rid of that. The follow-up Zealots are not going to do nearly as much, and Dragoons, can they deal any damage at all? I think that Speed has done a great job of shutting this down.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed. I did kind of expect him to handle it reasonably well, but yeah, he's handled it with quite a lot of finesse here. And with the good patrol micro, going to shave off a lot of hit points from these Zealots. He needs to now get this bunker up on the high ground is the real issue. That's why we see these Zealots still committed to the front. Mini just wants to slow down the bunker timing, because now these 2 Dragoons are going to start to really go to work, and the tank's not going to be coming up for some time because a Vulture after Machine Shop here for speed. So now these Dragoons can go to work trying to snipe off these Marines, so they can't just get into the bunker and prevent any further damage here. So now the Vultures have done a good job of shutting down one of the Dragoons, so it looks like the bunkers actually is going to get up. For a moment there I thought maybe he was going to be able to shave off more of those Marines and maybe one of the Vultures, but actually Speed doing a really good job of his target firing and managed to kill that Dragoon just in the nick of time before losing too many units there.
Well, I don't know if Mini's going to commit to doing something really desperate here or not, but he is in a rough spot. Speed going to grab his CC now, and he's got mines on high ground, so you really can't break through here. You'll have to take a Nexus as the Protoss player, and the CC is about the same time with Tech coming up as well. Speed is going to be able to do a drop here really quickly and potentially punish Mini, who's just sitting out in front. Looks like he slides by here with a Vulture, going to force Mini out of that frontal position. And you can't take any of the Protoss tax here as Mini, right? You can't sit there and just hit the bunker, so you're not going to be able to force out repair here, and already there's a tank on the way, so that's not even going to be a factor right now.
Yeah, honestly, like Mini was really had a really big gambit there because of the delayed bunker. He was really hoping on some significant damage and maybe killing more of the Vultures and getting rid of snowball damage. Might actually lose this probe, and does in fact lose that probe to the Vultures. A bit of a nightmare situation for Mini to be in. That's really annoying for him, honestly. Like, he even had the idea of escorting the probe, but the timing just wasn't in his favor, and just basically guaranteed to lose the probe unless you like notice the Vultures in advance. So unfortunately for him, he's going to be slowed down and even taking this 3rd base on curve. So now with the Vulture drop coming in and he's not got his 3rd base on the way, I'm a little bit worried for Mini. In fact, he's just going to be going for a Robo after that. I'm going to be trying to take this 3rd base. He's probably abandoned expanding for at least until 7 minutes.
Yeah, this is really not looking good here. Dragoons out in the front. We do have them moving back towards the main. Has he been tipped off? Maybe just the timing here is right for a drop to come in, and he's bringing the Dragoons back into a position that could shut this down. However, how much damage can Speed do with the Vulture speed finished and mines? He should be able to get in here and at least kill a few probes. 1 goes down, 2 falling already here. There are mines getting thrown down as well, which will make this a lot harder to clean out. Wow, that mine actually went off, but it didn't kill all the probes there. That could have been insane. That mine would have maybe killed every probe in the main. That might have been the best mine we've ever seen in KCM if it had.
Yeah, you're not wrong saying. Not only that, but even though we didn't kill all the probes, he did force both probe lines to drill around, so it did disrupt the mining time a lot of those probes. So even though not a lot of probes actually died in that, the mining time disruption alone was pretty significant damage there at this junction in the game. Has got a few Dragoons being maneuvered over to this 9 o'clock position, both to block any Vulture run bys because the assimilators are still alive, and also to catch any Vulture drop shenanigans that might come down there. But yeah, right now Mini's going to be pinned down in these positions while this dropship remains active, because he needs to keep all 3 locations under control. And meanwhile, I imagine Speed is going to be macroing up back at home, maybe even considering taking the island expansion with a 3rd CC.
Well, dropship going to drop, kill just 1 probe and back away. Luckily for Speed, luckily for Mini, excuse me, he didn't kill that assimilator before the drop came in, because he would have been locked out of the space and not able to clear that Vulture. But as it stands, he will get in there, deal with that. He's starting to clear mines in his own main now, moving out on the map. But this is looking really, really bad, really dangerous here for Mini. Can we take another base right now, Speed? Maybe that island might be viable here. I see something being built in the main base, but I'm not sure what it is. It might be another CC.
No.
Oh!
Ooh!
Ooh,
No, it's not a CC.
great mind connect.
He's not making the CC just yet. He's going up to 4 factories first, but I imagine that the CC might be a consideration soon. He might, or he could just do a 2-base timing. He might think that he's done enough damage here that he might want to go for a timing and really cripple Mini. But yeah, he's going to do a 5 factory play. I don't necessarily disagree with this either. I think this is fine. It will give Mini a chance at coming back, I think. But I also feel like this is a strong play here, and it does give him a lot of flexibility, and he can just take this expansion while doing the 5 factory pressure play. So he's going to have like 7 or so tanks roll out here. Okay, 6 tanks is going to be the rollout timing, and then he's going to rally this with a lot of vultures coming behind us, and he's going to count on the fact that Mini's got all of his goons split up and dealing with this vulture harass, that he's not going to be able to mount a formidable enough defense to catch this army coming across the map right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to split off some Dragoons to try and fight this, and he won't have his full force together to deal with the tanks. Now, if he loses tanks right now, he could end up throwing this game back into the hands of Mini, but he's backing up in time, it looks like. One Wraith out here in the front is kind of funny addition to this force, but tanks are starting to go down a little bit. We're missing a part of the fight here, and some more harassment going on at the center left as well. Looks like clearing that out, the dropship does go down as well. 1 tank did fall, but Speed is moving forward here with the vulture rallies coming up. He's going to have an opportunity to kill right now, but there is, of course, the possibility that maybe Mini holds this and kills off a bunch of tanks and brings himself back into this game with just some good Reaver control. That's a nice shot to start things off. Doesn't get any of those vultures, but also picks up the Reaver here before taking any damage of his own.
Yeah, I mean, he has killed one of the guys at 9 o'clock to lock out any medium-sized units, so no vultures or tanks able to get into that 9 o'clock pocket without drop assistance anymore. So instead, we see this pathway down to the rally point with these units setting up to just squeeze Mini out of the game slowly but surely, if possible. We'll be trying to use this Reaver to get as many pot shots onto these units as he can. Does also lose the Wraith there. Now wants to do a little bit of a dive maybe onto these units and see if he can get some splash damage onto these tanks with some Zealots maybe. Does have another good Reaver Scarab going to be killing one of those tanks, but honestly this is looking pretty dangerous for Mini. Like, Speed's already at his door and there's not a lot for Mini to maneuver out of this position with. He hasn't really got like Zealots he can bomb onto these tanks or anything, and there's plenty of vultures to swallow those up even if he did. So this is looking really worrisome for Mini. I think that Speed actually might have this game.
Speed's done a great job of harassment up till this point, and it's paying off dividends now as this push gets up towards his natural. He's completely contained the Protoss here, and he has the opportunity to take additional bases, but he's just forcing his way forward, slowly but surely closing the noose around Mini's neck. Can Mini break free of this hold here, this grip from Speed? A great first shot there from the Reaver, hitting a bunch of these Zealots, or Vultures, excuse me, a lot of them going down. The Reaver falls here though, and there's still plenty of tanks remaining with no Zealots in this army to break this, and lots of turrets coming up now. It's going to be very difficult to break through.
Yeah, and Speed's just expanding to the bottom right while this is going on. So the longer this goes on, it's going to be looking better for him as well. Mini's going to have to do something soon. He has got the shuttle actually going out onto the map here. I think he's trying to unload some units. Yeah, he's trying to like get these Dragoons active out onto the map from the island expansion at 9. So get those units active and force some of Speed's units to go to the north to deal with that rather than continuing the pressure at the front here at the rally point. But that's not really going to do anything but buy a little bit of time here for him. And he might get some of these Dragoons sniped off for his efforts as well. So I don't know about this. I really do feel like Mini is just moving into a worse and worse game state as the seconds are starting to tick past. We do have 2 shuttles, though, making their way across the map. Maybe these can find some critical damage here, but I don't know how they're going to be game-ending damage. He needs to like kill a significant amount of SCVs to make this valuable.
Yeah, even with killing a bunch of SCVs, I don't think it's going to be significant enough. A 10-kill Reaver here over at the natural. It's going to get some shots onto these SCVs, but they're just running down over to the bottom right, the fresh base down there, and the Reaver gets killed. He's going after the assimilator. I don't think he's going to get it, though.
No.
Kind of a cheeky maneuver here at the end of this game, but I think Mini is just about out of it. He has his last gateway here in the front getting picked off, and the tanks are climbing up here on the high ground. He will have to abandon the natural, and he's still technically in this game, but hardly has a fighting chance at this point. He's actually going to kill his own assimilator to block Speed from getting in here to deal any more damage to his main, but how is he ever going to win this game from this position? It feels hopeless at this point.
Yeah, it really does feel... He needs to like do mass storm drops, play like refugee Protoss with the shuttle setting up island expansions and killing assimilators to set up island expansions, and then maybe do a carrier switch. Like, that's the only thing I can really think that is have any chance at winning in this situation. But he needs good storm drops, crippling the economy of Speed, while also setting up these own bases and doing a carrier switch eventually. It's just so much to ask for, and I don't think Speed's even going to like let up enough of a time for him to accomplish those goals. So there is a chance of Mini winning from this position. It's just very difficult, Sam.
Yeah, so far behind in terms of the supply right now. Mini has a lot of money to spend, so he's going to start throwing down nexuses on islands, but Speed could build like 8 dropships right now and just start mass dropping every single base, and he might in fact try to do that here as he's expanding down into the bottom right. He's going to be sucking up more and more resources and maxing out here very, very soon.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Mini at the moment. We do see this frontal assault. Maybe there's not enough defenses here. If he can force the entire retreat of Speed from the frontal, maybe get the snipe on this assimilator, something can happen. There is a significant amount of forces here. He should at the very least be able to kill this assimilator if he so chooses. Does try and force away those tanks into the main base, but hasn't chosen to kill this assimilator just yet. Is just trading units as cost efficiently as possible right now, causing as much of a mayhem and forcing a full tactical withdrawal from Speed from that front line, relieving some pressure there. But the damage has already been done here for Minis though, so I think this is just kind of like a last hope effort. He needs to kill this assimilator as some compensation, but I think he's left it too long. I don't think he's going to kill it anymore. It's so close.
No. What?
This is ridiculous.
Oh,
I'm so blown
goodness.
away that he threw away his one chance at killing that assimilator, because he's not going to get that chance again. He needed to kill that assimilator and he didn't. So now I think it's curtains for him.
Dropship and try to pick that off. If he can get the shuttles out of the sky, then what is Mini really going to do before he has carriers out? He's not going to be able to shut down that Wraith.
Yeah, I honestly don't think there's anything that can be done anymore. He invested too much of his army in killing an assimilator that didn't get killed, and he didn't even kill much of the economy of Speed as well. So the carrier switch will have lost all of its potency now. He should have switched into doing storm drops or something instead of this kind of like, bulldoggy kind of play. I think his win percentage has kind of gone out the window. I think we're looking at like a 1 to 3% win chance here for Mini, and that's assuming a lot of blunders from Speed.
Finally, dropships are being incremented out here for Speed, and he's going to shut down the 6 o'clock most likely, although he has the option to drop down here as well, or into the main base, slow pushing from inside the natural, and supporting from inside the natural while taking some pot shots here at the third. Some Reavers coming out here to actually clear this, and a lot is going to go down because the tanks here on the other side of the wall are dealing a lot of damage. But you know what? He actually clears this. That's a little bit surprising that he was able to get through that, but he lost the majority of his units. He still has 4 shuttles to work with. This is just showing you how difficult it is to do dropship style Terran against a Protoss player when they've got Reavers to drop out. It's just such a better unit for the space in the dropship. He's going to come back and drop again, and this Reaver already has a huge amount of kills. He might be able to snipe this drop. He does. So even limiting the dropship potential here even more. However, bottom center has already been killed. There's like a bunch of units down there. I don't even know when they got there, but the Nexus is going to fall for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's good what Mini's doing, but he all he's done is really delayed dying. It looks like he actually might save this Nexus at 6 for the time being. It is dangerously low on HP though, so that might get sniped and the next few moments of the game. But yeah, he's weathered the storm. He's not necessarily dead, but Speed will just keep applying this pressure until he is dead. He's currently more than double the supply of Mini in this game right now. Has got his 2-1 upgrades as well, so he's still trading reasonably well. He hasn't got his late game upgrades online, even though it's 19 minutes into the game, but I imagine that eventually +3 will be on the way for him as well. Like, everything's going to be going in his favor. He's going to be even getting up to like 5 bases by the time he's mined out in his main just now. So yeah, pretty much everything is fine for Speed. So as long as he's trading at like a 30 to 40% efficiency, he's going to absolutely destroy Mini in this game.
Mini just hanging in there, man. Kind of hilarious to watch this guy play from such an insane deficit. He is scrappy with the units that he has left, but here comes another drop down here into this base, and every time the trades happen, more probes will die, and the support from over the wall is just going to help out so much. More Reavers pop out and kill a lot of this. He even picks up the Reavers afterwards and is going to save a lot of them. Can he kill the Nexus? Another drop here. A lot more units suddenly appear at this base, and it looks like Mini's just going to lose the Nexus. That's the last base going down. It's got to be GG here by now. Mini's still hanging in there, but he has no right to be in this game anymore.
3 times the supply, Sam. 60 to 184. Yeah, this is not looking good. We got a lot of shuttles, but it seems like we got more shuttles than units right now, Sam. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I think we've got like a 10 supply of shuttles, and we've only got 60 supply. He's flying into the bottom right. There's so many turrets here. SCVs are going to be pulled, but it doesn't really matter. There's plenty of locations to mine around here, and a counter drop is going to come down. This is like a TVT play here. Yeah. Dropping on top of the drop. It's going to actually clear everything, even though this is full of Reavers, and GG is called. GHG, in fact.
Yep, couldn't even GG correctly that game, Sam.
Well, that was a match. That was a Troy match for sure. That was a match you can only get from that map, but quite a wild one here. Now we're going to go on with Protoss being eliminated first. Speed's going to take either Hero or Queen. Coming up next.
Oh, that really got me that he couldn't even GG correctly at the end, bless him. He's just in frustration. I was like, oh, Jimmer.
Yeah, his fingers are just not working properly. The man's fingers betrayed him right up until the end.
It was nice to see Speed win.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing well. Doing very well. Alright, well. Just Terran and Zerg left over, man. Surprising.
Yeah, they brought out 2 more serious players and having a worse week of it. What does that say?
Yeah, that's wild. Doesn't really make sense, but here we go. Hero versus Speed. Good to go. Let's do this. Let's finish this.
Yeah.
All right. Sending out Hero here for the Zerg squad, and Speed teeing up on Mini that last game is going to be feeling good here. That win has got to be a boost to the confidence right now. I mean, anytime you're able to kind of dunk on a player as strong as Mini, it's a good, very good feeling. Usually they'll just tap out a lot quicker on the ladder, but Mini showing a championship level spirit, you know, hanging in there and trying to make it work regardless of being way behind in this game. It's nice to see. Better than tapping out too early and leaving something on the table.
Yeah, and it isn't the semi-island map as well, so there is room to maneuver in those hotspots. It's not like he can just like attack, move into your main base and wipe out your infrastructure. He does have to do a lot of tactical maneuvering with dropships, and a lot of things can go wrong for the Terran in those junctions. So yeah, not the worst decision to hang in there and see if something can be done. There was a chance that Speed, would have blundered a few times and made a few mistakes and could have been caught out by Mini, and suddenly the tables are a little bit flipped there. So can't really fault him for staying in and hanging in as long as he could in those games, especially on that map. And now we get to see Hero play and Hero versus Speed. So just a hatchery first coming out from Hero, nothing too crazy, and a very standard Rax timing here from Speed. So I think we might have a really good game on our hands here.
Yeah, one Rax fast expand from Speed. He's not going to repeat his game earlier against Jaedong, where he went for so much tech in the early game. This time, being a little bit more conservative, going to play it out a little bit more normally here with the early expansion coming down pretty darn quick, and could opt to put a little bit of pressure onto Hero, but this guy, Hero, so good at controlling the game with early lings, and his control, his just overall micro control is so fantastic. With the Overlord over the natural, I don't think that Speed's going to be able to do anything with Naked Marines this game.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think we'll see that. I have a feeling that because of the spawning positions, like you say, I think we're going to have a very nice game on our hands. It's possible that Speed does try and go for something still, regardless of that. We'll have to see. But I think we might see pretty standard game from both sides, and I'm really excited to see where these two line up, because I haven't really had the chance to see Speed play against many players, and how he stacks up against Hero will be very interesting to me.
Looks like a 2 Rax timing going to come out of Speed here. On the other side, Hero probably going to go for 2.5 hatchery. We didn't see the exact timing on the gas here, so can't be 100% sure, but likely that he has optimized this build for the 2.5 hatchery. It's very strong, very good build right now. Will give Hero a lot of options for how he wants to take down Speed in this game, and we will have that hatchery coming down here pretty soon. 6 more lings pop out as the Spire starts here. Enough to deal with those Naked Marines that are pushing out across the map, so you can just see Hero making exactly the right number of units to make sure that no early damage can occur. And Speed just going to turn around, knowing that he's being respected here, and his Naked Marine move out has been countered. He's just going to go back home and hide behind his wall.
I like the optimization of just telling the Marines to stop so that he could focus on sliding his SCV around for longer in the main base. There's like fewer actions rather than like telling them to run back right away, just telling them to stop so they don't advance too far, and keep the option to either keep going or retreat back if needed. I think it's a nice little optimization for Terran players moving out. It does see the normal timing here. He's actually moving out like about 10 seconds earlier than usual to try and catch Hero off guard. It does kind of work a little bit, catches a little bit of damage on those Zerglings, and this is like a very critical timing. He needs to try and force 2 Sunkens here if he can.
Yeah, I think he is going to be able to do that, because the Firebat negates these lings pretty darn well, and it can't really engage this too much. And there's only 1 Sunken Colony here at the front. 2 more Firebats are coming up. 1 Sunken Colony does not do well against a single medic push like this. He's going to dive on top of it. More lings are popping out here, but is that really what he needs? Firebats are going to be a big part of this push. Oh my goodness, absolutely wrecked. Wait, what? I guess you should have waited for those extra Firebats.
That was yeah, but then the Sunken finishes in time and stuff. So this is like an absolute masterclass in like min-max defense there. Like he calculated that he didn't need a second Sunken, but needed an Evo chamber to block. Like that's crazy from Hero that he calculated that he'd be fine with just that defense. Like that's some balls, I tell you.
Bold plays here from Hero, but you know, Speed losing those early units, he's going to be on the back foot. He should have turrets up in time, though, and he will be chased by these mutas. So even buying a little extra time here with the Firebats running around, and he forced, you know, extra lings as well. So the mutalist timing is not going to be as scary here. However, the turrets are quite late. Let's see if he can get these up in time. Just starting now, so the ones in the main are certainly a bit behind schedule here, and maybe Hero can start to pull this area apart. More mutas coming out here. 3rd base down in the bottom right. It's not that 2.5 hatchery that I mentioned earlier. Instead, taking the natural here as his 3rd base and taking it quite quickly. He's already getting into that 3rd gas. This is going to be a nice standard play from him from a 2 hatchery play in the main base, and
yeah,
I'm excited for this one, man. We're going to see Hero play it at that like peak level, that super standard Zerg play where he gets just enough lurkers at each location, and manages to take this into an ultraless late game.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for how this game is going to transpire, saying I have a feeling that Hero is going to really dominate speed in this game. I'm a little bit concerned. He will see some Valkyries as an answer to this Mutalist micro of Hero. He's very good at it. He's a very well-rounded player. He's a very strong macro player, but his micro and his Mutalist control is very potent as well. So you have to be really cautious in how you approach someone like this. And if you are on the back foot, you better believe that you're going to be taking a significant amount of damage.
Wow, I think Speed believes he can get in with a tank push here before the Defilers are done, but Hero's just taking such advantage of these Marines that are trying to defend the supply depots, and there's no turrets in the main. What is this? We don't even have a second turret here next to the CC, and we could easily see Speed get dominated right here. The Valkyrie pops out. It gets a good volley, but it is going to get tracked down. Doesn't get the second volley off here, and Speed is just about out of this one, man. He's going to lose the starport here almost definitely as he's trying to turret push towards that. More Lings are going to come in here. More Mutas are going to arrive. And he's going to take over the barracks now.
Wow, it's an absolute masterclass in target prioritization and Mutalist harass as well. Like the ability to like identify the moment to jump onto the Valkyrie to guarantee a 3-volley kill is like really exceptional. Like the way he forced this all to transpire by like when he targeted the control tower and then when he decided to turn around on the Valkyries is really phenomenal stuff from Hero. Just showing his absolute stellar class, picking off any Valkyrie that can make its way out of that starport, then shutting down the production of those Valkyries by picking off the low HP control tower. Now just camping the barracks production, forcing a leapfrog of turrets, which won't be significant enough in restoring control over these barracks for quite some time. Has got a tank out, but there's no way this tank push is ever going to be successful after taking this amount of critical damage. So yeah, just an absolute masterclass from Hero. And now the Lings are going to be the checkmate here because the Lings can flush out and start killing some of these pocketed turrets as well, while the Mutants still camp the barracks over and over again. So unfortunately for Speed, I think he's going to have to GG soon.
Yeah, he does have the tank. It's fighting quite well considering everything that's going on right here. He kills all the Lings. A little bit surprised that we didn't see Lings just go after the turrets in the natural at this point, but he really wants the kill immediately, and I think he's going to find it here. 2 Scourge right at the perfect time arrive here at the front line. He's not going to get the connection with the Valkyrie. Great control there from Speed, and he is starting to whittle down these Mutas, but the Lings coming in and clearing out the turrets now is probably the killing blow. SCVs are starting to fall. The Vultures popping out here are actually a great addition to kind of shore up the defenses here against the number of Lings that are out, though. It's just not going to be enough. Too many Lings end up getting this around here on one of those Vultures, and the Marines just cannot come out fast enough. There's only 1 barracks left. He's building another barracks in the natural, but that dies as well, and it's just pure Ling floods here from Hero to win this game from this position. 1 Firebat pops, but SCVs are falling left, right, and center. Hero is 10 supply ahead, and he's still pushing in right now. I don't know if he has a transition on the way, but he really doesn't even need one at this point. He just needs to keep flooding forward. Lurker, there it is.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even making lurkers during all this craziness.
He's been trading the pieces off the board and simplifying his win condition, and now just has his like checkmate move coming in here. Like he's gonna lose so many SCVs to these lurkers. There's no way he can fight against these lurkers without tanks as well. GG finally called from Speed, and looks like Light is gonna be the final bastion of hope here for Terran, as he's got both Hero to face and now Queen in the waiting in the wings.
Okay, Speed is gone.
Well, pretty interesting week.
A fantastic week, man. This has been great. Lots of interesting games here.
Well, yeah, I love that we're seeing some less familiar faces actually perform well as well. It's not just having them have stage time, but actually them performing well as well. It's nice to see. Imagine having Hero's confidence. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, his control, his confidence is just wild. All right, man. Hero versus Light. You ready?
I'm ready. Lay it on me.
Here it is. Hero versus Light for set number 7 on Dark Origin. Couldn't have asked for a better week, Shun. This has been just fantastic.
Oh, it's been exceptional, saying I can't complain at all. We've had names we don't usually see very much also show up and perform to a higher standard than expected as well. It's been absolute stellar stuff and really interesting games as a result. And we might see a very, very standard, strong TVZ from these two players here and now. Very fast scout timing, wants to be very cautious about the 8 racks potential on maps like this. So I can't fault him at all. It will be a little bit annoying and harassing, this barracks being placed. It's easier if you build the barracks on the high ground, but if you build the barracks on the low ground, the drone actually gets a harass value as well for its early timing. So a little bit annoying here for Light to deal with.
Yeah, this is great control. Not easy to do at all to get the drone to fire without the SCV getting to attack back, and he's brought it to a pretty reasonable level. He's going to pull away here while the drone gets super, super low. But just like you were saying, he forces an SCV off the line to just chase and to try and fight this drone and repair the SCV. This is a lot of lost mining time that's giving him a lot of compensation for sending such an early drone across the map, and giving him the confirmation really early on too that it's no sort of harassment coming. He will be able to go straight on in to his 12 hatch play.
Oh, look at this micro as well, almost getting the SCV kill. Would have been beautiful if he could secure that. Does seem to go for it. Needs to be careful not to use the drone. I was just thinking, if he's not careful though, he can still turn around and kill the drone. He did just that. Beautiful play from Light. Like, this is crazy. Like, I don't understand how we can see such interesting games from these two players at like 2-3 minutes into the game. We're already seeing some crazy fireworks. I'm excited for what times may bring. Light is the kind of player as well. He's very light on the amount of SCVs, pun intended, on how he makes. He does like to cut SCV production very early on and just hover around 38, 40 SCVs and really churn out his production early game. So might put a lot of pressure here and still getting drone kill damage. This is beautiful play from Light. He knows Hero inside and out, and he knows he can get away with this kind of cheeky punish play because Hero will skimp out if given the opportunity.
Yeah, he did skimp pretty hard here. Not building any quick lings. He does have some on the field now to deal with any more Naked Marine pushes, but look at what Light is doing. He's putting his Marines just outside the vision range of the Overlord over there in the natural to make it seem like he's pushing across, to try and force out additional lings from Hero. And after losing one initial drone, you got to be feeling like maybe just overbuilding lings here. But Hero doesn't seem to be doing that. He's not afraid here. He's not taking the bait. He's just building drones and trying to get back into a good macro position, throwing down the Spire now. One SCV going to come in. He's going to realize that his Gambit, his little mind game here, was not successful against Hero, and he might actually move across the map now with 5 Marines to try and put on that pressure once again. He's got 5 here. Let's see if he moves forward.
Yeah, he has a tiny window where he can move out just a little bit here, but I don't actually think he'll necessarily go for it. He might just be a little bit more overly cautious for the time being. He can't actually get in here deep with this SCV as well, so he doesn't actually know how many links have been made. Hero could be super smart and hiding some additional links for all he knows as well, so would err on the side of caution most of the time, maybe waiting for 6 Marines to move out. Or a medic at least here.
Has the medic, yeah. Could move out here. 2 creep colonies already forced. We should have a scan finished and ready to go here pretty soon. So as soon as he sees that double sunken colony, he's going to realize that the respect is already there. There's the scan. Does he see the sunkens? I don't think he saw that. No. He does see the high ground, the hatchery. He's moving across the map right now. If he saw those, I think he just sits back at home and goes into the next stage of the game.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, saying as far as he knows, he could have skimped out on both sunken colonies, and he's just going to, like, double check that and make sure that is the case, that he has got sunkens. Because if he doesn't, he can punish right here, right now. Sees the sunken colonies. Well, he sees how far the creepers push down, and that's all he needs to know they're already finished. You know what I mean? Doesn't even actually need to see the sunken colonies to know they're probably there. So I want to just make sure that Hero's being honest and hasn't been super greedy and not making those at all. So now Wizards will be returning to his base to defend against the mutalist timing of Hero. But Hero's the kind of guy where he won't necessarily always commit to mutas. He'll sometimes make just 5 or so, then he'll power drone and then make more mutas or something. So you never know quite how many mutas he's going to commit to initially. So it's really hard to make the perfect amount of turrets and defenses to deal with someone like Hero.
Yeah, third base is going to start here very soon. As the mutas start to be produced, 700 gas still in the bank right now. So he is banking quite a lot of that gas, not pouring it into mutas just yet. And likely for a very quick transition here, like you were saying before. But I don't know if that's going to work well against Light, who is building into a huge barracks count. He's got 4 racks pumping away here. You need a lot of muta ling to actually deal with the amount of pressure that's going to be coming across the map here, especially if you want to hold on to a third base right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Light's the kind of guy where he likes to cut SCVs and go crazy on his production early. So Hero needs to be really cautious in how he navigates this. He could just see this third base be cancelled or have... Yeah, he might just have to give up this third. It's possible.
It's really looking that way. He does cancel and backs off. Drone might head down to like the bottom left or something, try to find a spot where it's not going to be harassed, where it's not going to be picked off here right away. But this is a big win for Light, already shutting down that third and just slowing down everything for Hero, making his gambit there, not building a lot of early mutas, seem a little bit wasteful, and ill-informed. And now, I mean, just sitting out here with the +1 done and 4 racks pumping, Light is looking really, really good.
Yeah, Hero needs to get shaving on this Marine group right here, right now, and really start to punish this small bio ball. Force out stims, drain the energy of the medics, and get it to a situation where he can just trade out weakened mutas and gobble it up as cost efficiently as possible. If he does do that very efficiently, he'll be in an okay spot. Light doesn't want to let that happen for free, so he's going to be really on top of his control and deny that from happening as long as possible. If he can get these 2 armies joined together, that's a much more solid position for Light. But Hero should do everything in his power not to let these 2 armies join right now. I'm a little bit surprised that he's so slow in coming down here. He looks like he's waiting for these lings, and he's hoping that he's going to get it just before the Marines can join up, and he is going to get that play set up. Beautifully timed from Hero, actually. I shouldn't have doubted him, saying he's going to be cleaning it up very cost efficiently, losing hardly anything. Now getting the third base online, and it does kind of reset the power a lot. Even though he did have that third base delayed for so long, killing that bio ball that efficiently does kind of tip the favor a little bit back into Hero's court.
Making it work there, even with slow lings. You don't often see a play like that end up working. But the production is kind of insane on those 3 hatches in the main base. He's able to pump out enough mutiling there to just make it happen. And now the Marines coming across the map. Is he going to dive on this? He's got quite a few links, but again, he doesn't have speed. So he's going to wait, try to pick away at the edges of this Marine Medic Force, lower it down a little bit farther, a little bit more in range of what he can handle. Yeah,
I mean, so far, so good. I mean, the supply is actually looking pretty hero-sided as well. He picked up 1 medic there. Reducing the medic count is pretty significant. When you've got this many Marines fielded, it makes it much harder to manage your stims. If you stim too much, you can be just in a world of hurt, because eventually the medics get drained of their energy so much that they can no longer replenish the hit points while they're fighting the mutas, and you just get overrun so quickly. So he needs to be extremely careful with how he engages against mutas. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. He's baiting out stims just by running into the periphery and then hovering around for 10 seconds, and he's wasting so much energy on these medics.
Lurker upgrade should be finishing here soon. Hero going to be transitioning into that Defiler. It's on the way. But he's built a lot of mutas here, dude. I'm a little bit worried about whether or not he can make good use of these before the vessels come out and start to irradiate everything. I think we need to dive on the Marine group here pretty soon and make these worth it. Make this trade actually work for himself. If he had a 4 Scourge right now, this could actually go really, really hero favorite. If he just dives on top of this whole Marine force and picks off both of those science vessels, that would be key here to this next defense. But Light is going to get around to that left-hand side. I think he has energy for Irradiates. And if you try to run in and fight with big clumps of mutas against these Marines and Irradiates come down, you're going to get absolutely smashed. So he throws down 2 Irradiates here. There's 2 Lurkers going to be a left. He is going to stim up here. Can he actually break down this ramp right now? He won't have that Irradiate here for the mutas. Mutas coming in and helping out. He targets down both the Lurkers. 2 more Lurkers, 3 more Lurkers about to spawn. He does pop those Lurkers here at the last moment. He's trying to target them down. He targets the Lurkers here very, very nicely. And it's just pure Ling Muta remaining. 2 more Lurkers are going to come forward. Maybe he can still hold this. That's not many Marines on the left-hand side. Hero is doing it right now. He's hanging in there. Some Scourge pop. Maybe he can dive on top of these Science Vessels. No, I thought those Mutas were going to clear everything, but I like Hero did too. He's not going to finish off the Marines. They stand strong, and they will gun down the last Lurker here. The Vessels survive as well. Dude, that was really, really close. Hero making a great game out of it, despite being in a rough spot.
Yeah, this is why Light's style works so well. He cuts SCVs to have just that little extra production, so you think you might hold, but he's got just that extra critical mass to overcome you in the numbers game, and he breaks through and does critical damage. And it's unfortunate for Hero. He had almost enough mutas to clear up the left-hand flank, but if he had like 1 more muta left alive, you would have been able to gun down the Marines 1 at a time. But because there was just barely not enough mutas, the medics were just topping up the Marines enough to keep them up in the fight, and eventually bled off all the mutas. So really unfortunate there from Hero. Nearly did a hero hold, pun intended. But yeah, now getting the Defilers irradiated at the door of his base, not the ideal situation to be in. Has got some Lurkers set up here not to just die right off the bat, but only has 2 Sunkens in the back pocket here. He's just going to GG out. It's not really anything can be done here, unfortunately. It's going to be a Light versus Queen showdown in the final, Sam.
Incredible game there. Light pushing Hero to the limit, and he breaks under the pressure. But honestly, I'm so impressed by Hero, the way that he was able to nearly bring that one back. The engagements with the Mutaling was almost perfect, and we're going to jump into our last game here. Light versus Queen. Should be a banger. Let's go. I'll just get rid of this. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. All right, here we go.
Let's get it.
The final match, Queen here versus Light in the top left-hand corner. Are we back on the same map? Are we on Dark Origin again? Really?
Yeah, we are.
That's surprising.
Yeah, we got.
Wasn't expecting that.
We got same matchup and flipped spawns, so Zerg in the bottom right this time. So let's see if that will change anything. Do we have the option of boosting these minerals now with the patches on the right? Terran can't.
Minor, very minor difference, but might make a slight change here. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. 12 hatch here from Queen.
Yeah.
Gonna go for the same build, and Light appears like he's gonna throw down a Rax here on low ground too, or is he gonna go
CC
for
first.
CC first?
Yeah.
Oh.
CC first, and there's no drone scout. There's no drone scout. This is crazy what we're seeing here. We're seeing like a blind hatchery, not respecting the 8 racks at all, and now we see a CC first with no drone scout as a response. So this is wild.
That's crazy. You know, this is something that the Flash has been using on the ladder quite a bit. The CC first versus Zerg, and getting away with it. He was able to go CC first into mech with 2 armories versus Jaedong and just smack him down in one cast that I did earlier this week. But we'll see what the follow-up is here from Light. You can basically do anything with CC first and it's going to be strong.
Yeah, it's just you can do everything normally, just with a much stronger relativistic timing, and nothing the Zerg can really do can really catch up if they don't scout it early. If he did send the drone scout right away, then he can, like, you know, bully the SCV building the CC, be super annoying with the drone scout, and really actually make it harder for Light to navigate the CC first timing. But because he did a blind hatchery build, there's no drone scout, there's no nothing. So unfortunately, like Light's just gonna catch a little build order win against Queen in the early game.
Yeah, and he's gonna go directly into 2 racks production, and he'll likely just have a more robust 2 racks timing here with way more SAVs and way more production, way more oomph behind that early game aggression. And Queen, he's going to have to hold that. He's going to have to find a way back into this one from kind of a steep deficit here. I know it doesn't seem like it's really a tough spot here for Queen. He hasn't really been harassed or anything at this point, but the CC first, it cannot be underestimated, man. It's so strong.
Yeah. Oh, it's so strong. It's really frustrating to fight against us. There's nothing you can really do about it, and no matter what they do, they'll always be a little bit stronger than you. So even if they do the exact same standard build as they would usually, and you do the same standard build as you would usually, they're still just stacked so heavily against you. It seems insurmountable at certain junctions of the game.
And if you do some sort of cheese against it as well, they're just going to have so much more stuff than you would ever expect. It's no easy answer here for Queen, but I expect something like a Hydraless Defiler play, maybe like a light Mutalisk Harass into Hydra Defiler, something like that. That's a play that can kind of tip the odds back in your favor, rather than trying to get across here and just fight with Mutas like you usually would. Going for an early hatchery like this and going directly into Hydraless Defiler can give you the favorable trading potential that could maybe undo the difficulty, or at least balance out the equation here when it comes to fighting against CC first.
Yeah, and even with the CC first, you're able to do a pretty standard move out timing. Like he's got the usual 4-minute 50 Marines and medics ready to put on the pressure, and he's got a superior economy behind it. Everything is just so much more potent when you do this build order, if you can get away with it. And Queen just, unfortunately got his bluff called early game, and he tried to be a little bit greedy himself and not drone scouting and assuming there'd be no 8 racks or CC first, and now he's paying the price for it, and it's going to be a pretty hefty tax he's going to have to pay as well, unless he can get away with this third base going up uncontested and get all the way into defilers or anything too significant happening. Maybe you could say he's going to be okay, but that's a big ask saying. I mean, the mid game is going to be really rough for him.
Going to be tough here, but Queen has that early third base. It hasn't been scouted, so he kind of got away with a little bit here, right? Light, if he had known about that, he could have easily pushed out with the Marines and medics that he had at his disposal and shoved over to that center right, killed that hatchery for free. But he just didn't have the information available on the map. He didn't have an SCV out to scout. He didn't get the scan over there or anything to find out that that's present. And Queen is skimping here a bit on Mutas. He's trying to force out the Sims here while currently transitioning and getting that third gas online as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to be honest with you, this might be okay for Queen. Because his base is going uncontested, he's going to go into 3 gases really quickly, and he'll have some potency in his own build order to fight against this from Light. It's probably one of the better scenarios he could have hoped for. Light was just trying to bank on the fact that he's got his build order advantage, and that's all he needs to secure a win here. And he's being very conservative as a result to make sure there's no way that he can get caught with his pants down and have his bio ball deleted for free or something. So yeah, because he's been so conservative, he might start to get a little bit of that advantage negated. But the den is only just now going down, so if there's a big strong window here for Light to push out onto the map in this next minute or two to catch him before that critical lurker timing. So he's not out of the woods just yet, and this is going to be a 4-racks production play, so he's going to have enough bioforce to put a significant pressure onto Queen in the next minute here, and maybe even just kill him straight up.
Queen having the center right base as his third might prove problematic, but it might also be a decent spot to defend against the bioforces here. From that high ground, it's going to be hard to shove up. It is a very wide ramp going up onto that third base, but going up a hill against lurkers anytime it's just not great. It's not easy at all. Marine's going to come out here, try to get on the map, But really good trading from Queen, honestly. Every time diving in, he's getting a bunch of kills on these Marines and shutting down this count pretty significantly. He's done a really good job lowering that medic energy, and now he's capitalizing on it pretty well.
Honestly, really beautiful stuff. That Light was also trying to be quite ingenious in how he was trying to maneuver his marine groups around to zone out the muters and buy time to cross the bridge with the other group, and then try and use the group that had positioned themselves on the other side of the bridge to support the bio coming over the other side. But Queen outmaneuvered him at every junction there. Like, he kept like flying around and exploiting the marines at different zones, and really is punishing Light every time he comes out to the map. And here's the money right now. This is where Queen's at his weakest. He's got lurkers on the way, but it's a big window where they're not ready, and he's going to try and lay siege to this base if he gets a tiny window. But so far, the Mutas Karask has been significant enough that Light's being really tentative and very cautious in how he's going about this. So he might have bought just barely enough time to hang on here, Sam.
Yeah, 3 sunken colonies on the high ground. Light gonna pull the trigger here, but where are the mutas? If the mutas were on top of this already, would have been shot down very hard, but the lurker gets targeted. Great scan there, great move by Light getting on top of this base, but the mutalisks are actually clearing out a lot. A lurker here gonna spawn in the midst of all this, and he doesn't have scan, no scan available, so this lurker is going to help out a lot right here, landing on some spines from that low ground, and the mutas will clear out everything, barely hanging on here as the medics go down. That is a huge loss for Light. Totally reset his bio count, but he is 5 racks, so he can remake that really, really quick. Does the Defiler mount come down? Yes, it does, so I mean, we do have a transition point here for Queen. He should have more lurkers in position by the time Light pushes out again.
I mean, I'm kind of speechless. I thought for sure he would have at least a scan, like, able to deal with that lurker. But no, I guess either he made a miscalculation or he just assumed he'd be able to gun down the lurker before he could burrow. But yeah, like, that one lurker was hero there for sure. Like, that could have been game-ending damage if he lost more drones or the hatchery or more units. So the fact that that didn't transpire, Queen's actually looking pretty strong in this game now. And the vessel timing's like going to be slow enough that I think Queen's still going to be okay. I think like there's still a window for him to die in the next minute or two, but I feel like he's weathered enough of the storm that he should have enough resources available to not just straight up die. I think.
That was a hurricane, man. That was not just a storm.
Yeah, it was.
Light was pushing in. Like, that was scary, man. One misstep and Queen would have been dead.
Right.
He didn't have the mutas right on top of that as it was coming in, so I thought he was actually going to get broken. He did manage to pull everything together at the last second there. Now Light is pushing out. He's still in a very good spot with the vessel starting to crank. He will be able to irradiate everything, but Queen, with the Hydralisk Defiler play, if it's as good as I expect, he should be able to take reasonable trades against this and potentially, take this into a late game situation, drag Light into deep water, and maybe take a 4th base, get into a reasonable spot where he can take this in a long game. But Light is just going to have some moments here where he could break into any of these positions, and he's just edging to do so. He's so ready to jump on anything, any mistakes here from Queen, and he's going to come around to the bottom side of this 3rd base. This is the scary point right here for Queen. He doesn't have positions everywhere. He's got too many different positions to deal with right here. Coming in, running in against these lurkers. The Marines are going to die en masse, but more lurkers are going to come forward to deal with that. He tries to get the vessel kill, not able to get it, but pressure can come from both sides now, and there's not enough lurkers to cover both angles here on that 3rd base.
Yeah, it's the difference between great and good Terran players, saying is that they're so good at the great Terran players are so good at exploiting any timing weakness that you have as or create the weakness themselves, and Light will do just that and try and maneuver around, exploit any tiny pocket of opportunity that's given to him. He's trying to swing around to this right hand side again. He knows the resources available to Queen are limited at this point in the game, so there is a window here to really punish Queen for the next minute or so if he's he's not careful. He doesn't have enough lurkers on this right-hand flank here defending this position. He's got like a pocket of like 3 lurkers stacked up. That's going to be really difficult for him to come in there and delete all those lurkers. Now finally the swarms here, so unable to get through these trenches, and we will be forced into a hot retreat, and we get a dropship play into the main base, but there is Mutalisk there just to dive on top of that. Queen's completely shut down this gambit of Light. Light was hoping, this was the play that he was really hoping for. He wanted to distract Light at the third base, distract Queen at the third base for long enough for these dropships to get in and do the critical damage into the main base, but Queen was on top of that with his Mutalisk force, and they're able to completely shut that down. So yeah, it's just kind of really hard to tell who's actually winning this game right now. I would say it's actually quite Queen favored right now. Light does have his third base on the way right now, but there's Ultralisk Cavern being made. Queen will be taking his 4th base, trying to get into 4th gas. Plague's already done, so I think right now this is definitely Queen favored in terms of the utility that's available to him. So
really sneaky stuff there for Queen, having a bunch of lurkers underneath the gas geyser. We rarely ever see a play like that, but he had them just actually above the gas geyser, but underneath the visual part of the gas, so that you could barely see the little lurker potholes above that. Now he's going to come in here with a Dark Swarm. Can he get some of these vessels? He doesn't manage to pick any of those off, but he gets a reasonable Plague. Though Light will probably shut down the space. He does force the cancel. We'll be able to get in here and shut this down for now, at least.
Yeah, I mean, he has got his 3rd base up and running, so he's not out of this game by any stretch. And slowing down this 4th base is going to be critical for him as well. If Zerg gets 4 gases underway, 1,200 gas a minute is just too much to allow them to have with Ultra Cavern on already finished up. So right now, though, Light is in a world of hurt. He's gambling so much on this map control right now. He needs to constantly be hunting down these defilers non-stop while trying to get his own infrastructure online. He's getting a 4th base going online that's 9 o'clock right now. He needs to really keep the pressure on, keep the siege going, and just do not let up on the Zerg at any moment, and then maybe he'll have a strong chance at crushing this game still. He has got a lot of army right now, and battle cruisers on the way as well, so if he can just keep the pressure on for long enough, eventually he will wear out Queen, and Queen will make a mistake at one of these bases, and eventually Light will break through, but he needs to keep the siege online for like a whole minute or 2 minutes, just non-stop action.
The mutas there. A lot of them getting lost here by Queen as the irradiates come down, not able to control that with all the chaos going on the map. He has a nicely positioned Spore up there in the high ground. I really like the spot that he throws that down. It's making it very hard for irradiates to come down and deal with lurkers on that high ground. A lot of Lings coming in here. 1 Defiler going to be helping out with the defense right now. Dark Swarm on that bridge there, but Light just backs up, and there's no 4th base here just yet for Queen. He's got a huge bank of minerals, but his gas is very low. I think he just started a bunch of Ultras, but how many can he really afford here at this point? With this little amount of gas, I don't think it's going to be too many, and Light is going to be putting out those battle cruisers, as you said, plus he's got a ton of vessels here now, just continuously irradiate everything. Nice irradiate there on the Scourge. That's going to be annoying. He does manage to pull out the irradiated Scourge, though that is not easy. He gets rid of that and keeps the rest of the Scourge alive, which is kind of critical because he needs Scourge to limit the amount of vessels here soon. He has to start picking some of these off. Otherwise, all the Ultras that were just made up or were built out here by Queen are going to end up going down. He takes 2 more big irradiates here on these Ultras, but a great Plague on a lot of this stuff. So many of these units down here are actually plagued right now, and oh my goodness, all the vessels are plagued as well. That was some amazing Plague play from Queen, and he's actually moving over here towards the 4th. Can he get a Defiler down here? I think he can, because you just can't push forward these vessels right now. Oh, and the 1 Muta! The 1 Muta killing all the vessels is so big. He gets in, he kills the vessels, he brings forward the Defiler, he gets on top of the... he kills that 1 Marine before he can get inside the bunker as well. These Ultras are going to get on top of the 4th and start to kill all the SCVs here, and the Defiler is going to make that play kind of unstoppable. He will have to lift up that CC and bail out, but at the same time, he's going for the 4th base. Does Queen have what it takes to stop this? Another Plague goes down, 1 more Ultralisk here in the fight. Some Lings in there as well. A few more Ultras pop out. Lings are coming to the rescue here. He will be able to save the 4th base. Dude, he's doing it. Queen is doing it right now.
Yeah, he's doing it. Battle cruiser's operational, but it might be too little too late. It looks like the matriarchy is reigning supreme right now. This is like craziness what we're seeing right now. And the onslaught is continuing. Even with these two ultras and dark swarm up here, make it very annoying to deal with. Like, you're barely damaging these ultralisks with the fire bats underneath that swarm. So really frustrating. He's going to be getting the kill on this Nidus to shut down some of the unit flow here and be a little bit annoying. If he can start delaying the gas mining on some of these expansions, that's going to be critical, but he's not able to do that for some time. And now the 4th gas is online for Queen, so we have 1200 gas a minute coming in. A lot more Scourge can be made, a lot more ultras can be made, defilers, whatever he needs to get the job done. Light is absolutely full on desperation mode right now, trying to both survive and cripple Queen's gas income at the same time. It's a very difficult thing to balance right now. I don't think he's got the tools needed to keep all the plates spinning here, Sam.
I think he's trying to gun down as many gas drones as he can. But the Scourge are going to come through here in a moment and finish this off, and he will get back on 4 gas. This is just a small delay, but it might be significant here as the forces push forward for Light. He's going to move towards this 4th base that is mining gas. See if he can break this before Queen gets back online fully here with 4 gases. The natural does manage to get cleared out here. He finishes off those battle cruisers, and he will get back to gas mining in a moment. But this is some good play from Light to keep this game scrappy as Queen is just getting everything online and, you know, looking very scary. He does manage to shut that gas down just for a moment. Does get his 4th base back online as well, so he's starting to stabilize here.
Yeah, it was really impressive how Queen managed to deal with those battle cruisers efficiently. Like, they were on hold position to shoot the gas and the drones, but he plagued the BCs again out of range of their shots. So they were then targeted onto the Defiler and not killing off his own gas. So he hasn't even got to replace building the gas. He can just go straight back to mining that gas and use less explosive. Look at these beautiful plagues. Everything's going so well for Queen. I'm really impressed by his ability to not only weather the storm, but create his own tsunami of threat that's going to be smashing out into Light's forces soon. There's so many ultras and lings that are going to be able to be made now that he's got these 4 gases stabilized. It's going to be really brutal for Light in the coming phase of the game, Sam.
Yeah, Light is losing vessels right now as well and eating plagues galore. Can he break through any of these positions? It feels like he has to go for the 4th or the natural here, because the 3rd is high ground with a lot of defenses, a lot of sunken colonies up there, spores as well. 3 spores on that high ground, by the way. That's kind of crazy. Hardly ever see a play like that, but Queen making a good choice here. He is going to be able to defend against the vessels and potential battle cruiser attacks into that location. Another Irradiate goes down. He's constantly picking off the Defilers here every time they are coming out, but he's at the same time eating more plagues, taking a lot of damage on this Marine Medic force. It's still growing up to 144 supply, but Queen is taking more bases, man. He is getting into a big count of Ultra as well, and pretty soon he's going to be able to take map control back from Light.
Yeah, one thing that's going for Light right now is he's got these +3 weapons done on the Marines, and the +5 armor's not yet finished on the Ultras, so Queen will be sitting a little bit more passively until he gets his upgrades caught back up again, but that will be happening in a few moments. He'll have the speed upgrade on the Ultras, and he'll have the +5 armor finishing up soon, and he's going to be sitting pretty. But for the time being, Light will have a moment of respite to build up a pretty big force to try and combat this. So I think there's a tiny chance here for Light, because there might not be a critical swell that Queen needs to really bowl him over by the time that the armor grade comes online. So I think there's a window here for Light, but it's going to be really tough, Sam.
Oh, another great plague here. So powerful, these plagues. Every time he hits these vessels and follows up with some kills, it's just so much value. Which is exactly what Light is trying to get here. He's trying to get value out of these vessels by irradiating all the gas units, but every time he eats these plague and loses the vessels, it's just such a commitment that ends up getting lost. Such a huge bank of gases gets lost every single time, and now Lings are pushing out in towards the middle. He's coming in from multiple angles, trying to get additional plagues down, throwing down dark storms in key positions. 5 armor is finally done. Ultras, are they ready to take this big force? Because Light is pushing in. He's going to go for it here. Sunken Colony is ready. Ultras, where are they? Here they come. Lots of ultras coming down to meet this. I think he's got enough to take on this force.
Yeah, I think he's going to gobble up those Terran Marines and just consume their biomass. Even though it's not got that delicious chili sauce in it, it's still going to taste nice enough for these Zerg forces. And now the remaining force getting pincered from both sides. It's looking like going to be a Queen victory here, saying I don't think Light has done enough damage to him. And now he's going to be feeling a lot of pressure from Queen, because he can now field fully upgraded Ultralisks out onto the map freely and start to set up more Nidus canals around the map to kind of sprout out wherever he needs to and attack from whatever vector that he needs to get the better trade in the grand scheme of things. Light's trying to just like claw his way to the corner of the map and try and body block his way into some kind of favorable trade, but I don't think that's even going to be successful, and would just set him up for possible plagues as well in the future. So he needs to be careful in how he uses what tiny forces he's got remaining, but I don't think it's going to be a significant enough of a force to defend here, saying I think Queen's done it at this point.
Yeah, Queen's placed Light in check here by dropping the Dark Swarms on that high ground. The fourth base will have to be lifted here once again, and Light is just about out of minerals at his natural, so he needs this base desperately. He's only going to be on one base mining here. Ooh! The spore colonies here just wrecking a lot of these vessels, but this small army may be able to make its way in here and kill the Nidus before any additional forces come out. He does get the Nidus. He will shut down the base, but it's still, I think, reasonable position here for Queen. He should have at least 2 gases mining out of the 4 that he has remaining, and he's mining quite a bit of minerals still. It's not like he's going to mine out very quickly here with the amount of drones that he's got. This is TVZ after all.
Yeah, you don't have that high drone saturation, so he's going to be mining from his main and natural a lot longer than Light was anyway. And the fact that Light is getting this expansion shut down over and over again, it's hard for him to get the minerals that he needs to keep churning out these units from his production. Like he's currently ahead in supply and he's doing okay, but he's not got much mineral income right now, and he might not be able to deal with these forces constantly harassing his mining operations at the moment. He has shut down Zerg from growing much larger, which is great, but he's only mining on like 1 base at the moment.
Yeah, mining on 1 base here. Queen's got quite a significant bank of minerals, but not much gas, so Mass Firebat's going to be really, really strong against what Queen can field at this point. He needs desperately another base, so working on shutting down that 4th and getting a 5th of his own online here is going to be key. Has a Defiler, has some Lings here over at towards the top right. Should be able to get them up to that top right to maybe get this base online, but Light is going to eventually get out of this position. He's kind of in a hold right now, but he managed to get out of that check spot, that difficult situation with the 4th base, and now has it landed. I think he's looking quite good, man. This is a lot of minerals, but just pure Ling is not going to do too well for Queen right now. He's going to need to play very, very scrappy and conservative with his ultras to try and get that level of Ultralisk, that like critical mass of Ultralisk up again. He does get a Dark Storm over here at the 4th and a Plague as well. This is pretty good move. He will force back the Marine and Medic. They were actually headed over the top right and could have denied the base, but they turn around here to deal with this attack, and this is the opportunity that Queen really needed here to get this base online. Once again, he's got a Nidus up there. This is really good for Queen. Can he stop the counterattack and get this 4th base online? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I mean, both players are trying to keep all the plates spinning right now. A lot of them are crashing down and just like cracking under the pressure, but the majority of the plates are still spinning for both players, and it's kind of interesting to see how Light's done a pretty good job of having enough critical mass of Bioforce out on the map to really like keep the threat of the Ultras at bay for the time being. But now finally this base has sprouted up again in the top right. Nidus Canal is finished, gas is back online, so this is the key thing that Queen needed to finish out this game, was just that little bit of extra drips of gas to come through so we can field more gas units. He's been so reliant on cracklings and plagues and swarms and just a handful of Ultras for the time being. So now he finally gets a little bit of extra gas to start to cook with, and it's looking like it is going to be a Queen victory, but so far Light has got a significant force fielded, so maybe Light can still make something work here.
Ooh, D-Matrix on some Firebats here, and oh my god, the Lings just run in and die. That's not a good look for Queen. He's got a few more ultras popping out here, but he needs a Defiler to maybe hold this attack into the natural. He was so concerned about getting the base in the top left, but his natural is starting to get broken here. A lot of Lings coming out, but it's not really what you need against such a strong force of Bio. It's going to be hard to clear that out. Dark Swarm comes down, and that's going to be what he needs to actually take this fight reasonably well. Vessels are going to be going down en masse right here. He's going to get all of them. Wow, all the vessels go down here, aside from about 2, which are kind of spread out around the map. The Nidus goes down. Is there anything over here? No, there's nothing. Oh my god, that goes down at the 11th hour here. It looks like he's going to lose the 4th base again.
This is absolute crazy back and forth we're seeing. Like, both players are doing a great job of, like, not only keeping their plates spinning, but, like, trying to, like, kick over the other player's plates. So it's kind of, like, back and forth. Like, relativistic speaking, it's been pretty even trades on both sides, but Queen is slightly getting the better of it, I would say. Like, even though he's got this 4th gas shutdown yet again, like, he is forced the lift off of both of those expansions now. He's not mining at all, is Light, whereas still we see a trickle of income coming from Queen on these 2 bases that aren't quite dried up yet. So yeah, so far this is Queen favored. If Light can stabilize, get these 2 bases back to mining and deny the base going up for Queen, then we could see a Light victory here.
You're totally right. I mean, there's so much minerals that were in the bank for Queen. He's got like 1,700 minerals in the bank a moment ago. A lot of that got spent, but it's opposite for Light here, who has tons of gas but no minerals. And with just no minerals, not able to make too many units here for the Terran. And oh man, losing even more vessels right now. That's really all he has here is just a few vessels. The Ultras are going to get in the way, block the Marines from running up the high ground. He is getting in here towards this natural. I think the Queen just barely might have done it. It's getting so close, though. Some of these Ultras are going to go down. Yeah, the Irradiates are helping out. The Battlecruiser is as well. 15 kills on that, but might just barely not be enough. Another Irradiate. That's great. Irradiate there, getting rid of this Defiler before it can make it into position to throw down a Dark Storm in a reasonable spot here. And Firebats will clear everything. He gets the base online again. This is just insanity.
Yeah, I mean, the main threat is that we don't have this base mining down here. As long as he can stop Light from mining there, we're sitting pretty as Queen. Light knows that he needs to invest every resource available to him in securing that. He's going to get these Battle Cruisers caught for free as well, unfortunately, baited out by those Lings. And now we do see Light mining at this base, so he's back onto some kind of income, but at what cost? Queen now with this base coming back online in the top right should have the resources available to him to just barely close out the deal. He's now ahead in supply for the first time in a long time by about 20, but that could still change. I mean, as long as he's got enough of these counterattacks going on while distracting the Bioforce, we see enough forces to clean up here, but now we see Lings running into the main base and causing absolute mayhem in there. So eventually Queen will put Light into a checkmate scenario. It's just taking him so long to get there.
Yeah, it's taken a long time. It's a hard-fought victory here for Queen, but putting down Plagues and closing the deal here against Light. One more Dark Storm. No, he doesn't have the energy for it, and he's actually killing a lot of his own Lings with the Irradiate, but it's fine. The main base looks like it's going to be cleared out here. Firebats are popping, but they're just getting wiped out by the Lings that are pouring into the main base right now. All the production going down is probably going to be the final blow, as Light just can't do anything against this force. He's actually losing the remainder of his vessels as well. Queen playing a fantastic game against Light here and closing us out in style for this week of KCM. Just I couldn't have asked for a better final game here, Shun. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got Queen himself has only been hanging on by a few threads in this game, but he's been an absolute puppet master with those threads and has got like strung up like Pinocchio right now. And honestly, like I don't think we could have hoped for anything more from Queen in his performance in this game. Like, it's really exceptional how he's like able to keep the pressure on this long after being like in a bit of a flimsy state. Finally forcing out the GG. We're going to be seeing another Zerg victory. I'm all about it, saying let's see Zerg just skyrocket into the stratosphere this season.
Wow, one of the best games we've got this season, honestly. Queen versus Light. A final to remember here, guys. That's going in the scrapbook. That's going in the 2024 best games video for sure.
Really back and
Crazy,
forth.
crazy finisher. Yeah, so back and forth, so intense there. Hard to believe that was, started off with a CC first and almost a Terran victory there at the third base. Like, it was barely a hold from Queen, but it turned out to be such a great game. All right.
All right, let's get a wrap up going.
Yeah.
That was a pretty intense final game, man.
That was wild.
I had this like mental image of them like trying to spin all their plates while they're like kicking each other at the same time.
Yeah, it was something like that for sure. I can't snip this.
But what was so fascinating was it didn't matter how many plates there were. It didn't really change the state of the game. Like, even though so many plates were smashing, like, they were still just constantly at each other's throats the entire time.
Yeah, they just were not giving each other a break at all. Crazy pressure in that game, man. Crazy pressure.
Yeah, it's pretty exceptional, man.
Beautiful. Beautiful game. Let me see here. Wild, you probably still can't see the screen. Hey, it keeps going back.
No, I just see your Discord right now.
That's wild. What is that?
I don't know.
Really doesn't make sense. All right, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Ooh, what a final game there, Shun. Absolute heart-pounding, high-octane gameplay for that final ZVT, but in the end, Zerg managing to take the victory, finally putting some points on the board.
Yeah, it's finally nice to see Zerg winning again. I'm really excited because I want to see them do well this season. I don't want to see them just flatline and take a semi-finals. I want to see them actually fight for it. And now we have that as a strong possibility here. And I want to see this line continue to trend upwards into the stratosphere and beyond, saying hopefully it'll be the Protoss flatlining now from my own bias.
It's also really nice to see Queen perform, dude. He has not been showing up much lately in a lot of these tournaments, and the good old Zero that we know and love, who took down 2 ASL seasons and looks so dominating. He was like absent for quite some time, but in this game, he showed us that old performance. He showed us the old Zero, the one that we fell in love with, and I couldn't be happier to see it.
Absolutely, saying. I mean, I've always really liked Zero for a very long time, and he has been very dominant in recent fashion for like a few years ago. But yeah, he just seemed to fall off a cliff in terms of his relevancy and ability to perform. But now we're starting to see some new life breathed into him, and hopefully we'll see some more strong showings for him in the coming weeks.
Keep our hopes high here, guys. This is it for week number 3. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week for some more exciting KCM action. See you there. like and subscribe to the video. Go check out Shun's channel as well. Make sure to hit the first link in the description to KCM's video, his original video here, and his production value of this tournament is 6. So definitely go over there, give him a comment, a like, and a subscribe, and let him know that you care and that you're appreciating his content like we are here at the KCM. Thank you so much for being with me here today, Shun. Guys, see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right. That's it. We did it. Finished.
We done diddled it. And I gotta go bounce because I'm on a tight schedule.
All right. Thank you, man. That was a long one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was longer than I anticipated. But it was good. I enjoyed the games. Really good games.
Yeah, really good games. All right, dude. Take it easy.
Take it easy, man.
See you later.
See you later, guys. Peace.